it's great to see someone so passionate about talking to anyone and everyone. Big thank you to Josh East for all his work that he's doing this weekend with producing content for us. As let's take a look at the grid. So it is Truly Adams who starts on pole in front of Daniel Hartley and Shan Canivet in third. Nico Franke is the lead German in fourth position in front of Taman Witte and Chase Gassiet-Lee. Aaron Coogan lines up behind him in front of William Omar and Martin Wright. Phil Becker lines up as the second German in front of the two Irish drivers of Tara Keneally and Mark Fleming, Then comes Anastasia Gerasis and Antonio Martinez, Jesus Asuncion and Richard Seika in front of Victor Hampel, Preet Ravino and Daniel Brunetsky in front of Kirilis Mitrievs and Mika Sprentz. And then finally, rounding out the grid, we have Juan Diego Perez as they round their way through arguably the second overtaking opportunity of the track, second or third you could say even, as they all begin to get into their tram lines. And I've got a lot of new fantastic grid data, so thank you very much to the folks at RGMMC and the wider Nations Cup for providing me with lots of pieces of paper with starting grids on them. That is very, very helpful for a commentator, so thank you very, very much indeed for bringing those up to me. As we get ready to go, everyone just crawling around. I can see from the commentary box just how slowly everyone is going. Truly Adams leading them away in front of Daniel Hartley, who gave the sound advice that not crashing is the key to doing well. And that is advice that is accepted by many in the motorsport community. Some might say it's stating the obvious, but sometimes you have to. And Daniel Hartley, of course, a podium sitter last year in the final, having finished third, as they all crawl their way round through the final chicane. Any slower and they would be going in reverse as we get ready to go. Are we going to go racing this time round in the juniors? Yes, we are, we go, and it's Daniel Hartley with a good start. He's going to be right alongside Truly Adams as they go down into turn one. It is going to be Adams on the inside though. Adams takes the lead in front of, that is Shan Canivet in second, jumping up from third, and the number 263 of Daniel Hartley being hung out to dry, it seems, falling down the order, but it is Truly Adams who leads the way from Shan Canivet. They all make it through the chicane with no issues whatsoever, which is great to see. Too many crashes have happened there in the last 12 months. Oh, it's the commentator's curse. Tara Keneally's involved. Anastasia Gerasis is also involved. There's someone else, I'm not sure entirely who that is. It is Gerasis and Keneally, though, the two lady racers involved in a collision down at turn number 5. As we look back to the leaders now, it is Truly Adams from Shan Canivet, and then the 286 machine of, that is Taman Witte, with a fantastic start and setting a purple second sector as Gerasis and Keneally try to recover themselves back up into a competitive position as they come down into the final chicane for the first time. It is Truly Adams from Shan Canivet. Daniel Hartley is the 216 machine. Daniel Hartley has fallen down the order. It is Adams, Canivet, and then Taman Witte with Aaron Coogan in P4.
Daniel Hartley getting a difficult start there, down in P8. The top 7 all together as one, as you can see on screen, making their way down through turns 4 and into 5, where the incident happened on the first lap, where Gerasis and Keneally were caught up, sadly. They've only just come through the first sector at the end of this second lap. Daniel Hartley down to 8th place, and he is 2 seconds off this top 7. So a difficult start to the race, how quickly things can go wrong on the first lap. But he still has 5 more laps at the end of this to try and close them down, and this group looks like they could be getting ready to find each other. Let's see what the plan is going to be of Shan Canivet. Is he going to work with Truly Adams and wait for the end of the race, or is he going to turn this into a bit of a battle? Taman Witte there in 3rd place. Does Taman want to also work with them or battle? It seems it's going to be work together and wait for the final couple of laps. That seems to be the approach. What about in the battle for 3rd? I'd say it's going to be similar things going on. The 3rd down to 7th place also working with each other here. So Adams, Canivet, Witte, Coogan is the driver in 4th place, and then it's Martin Wright, then William Omar, Nico Frank. Martin Wright up 4 places into P5. We've got some big gainers down the order. Trevino and Brunecki both gaining 6 places to come up to 12th and 13th, Simon.
And Aaron Coogan is moving fast towards that battle for position number 3. The battle has spread out. It's sort of the top 3 and then the following 4. But Aaron Coogan with the distinctive green helmet is chasing them down. Fastest in Sector 1 and then fastest sector in Sector 2 goes to Truly Adams, who is leading the way still. A dominant performance was put in last year by the young American, and he managed to take the final victory. The reigning T4 Nations Cup champion of the junior category leads the way down into turn 1 once again. A very mature driver, very calm, cool, calm and collected driver in the American. He's done a lot of racing in California, a lot of racing in Mexico as well, and coached by his father, Troy Adams, who himself is a very successful driver, as Martin Wright makes his way past Aaron Coogan, and there's another move. Coogan potentially about to fall down the order and fall victim to William Omar, who's looking up the inside through the fast sweeping left-hander. Omar seems to have got the move done. Yes, he has. So that is Aaron Coogan falling down to position number 6 there, which is very unfortunate for the young Irishman, and he is still battling with William Omar, but he may fall into the clutches momentarily of Nico Franca just behind him, as this battle is really beginning to hot up now. The top 4, look at how close they are. You could cover them with a blanket, and now Aaron Coogan has really started to fall down the order. He's really falling into the clutches of the drivers behind him. As we have the top 4, it is Truly Adams still leading, Shan Canivet still second. No, excuse me, it's Taman Bitter in second. Shan Canivet has fallen down to 3rd. Then Martin Wright has got up into 4th. This is absolutely fantastic.
Martin Wright, let's see what his approach is going to be now on this lap. Now he's caught this top 3 and made it a top 4. Will he attack? The answer is yes. There he goes down the inside of Shan Canivet. So that's 1 down, 2 to go for the British driver. Martin Wright takes P3 away from Shan Canivet. Did the fastest lap of the race, as you may have seen on screen last time around. 105.7 was 0.6 of a second quicker than your leader, Truly Adams. Now the gap between the top 7 and Daniel Hartley is coming down as well. It's come down by a few tenths of a second. I'm not sure he'll have the time to close him down, but we watch our 2 leaders, Truly Adams and Taman Vitter, now having to worry about the approaching Martin Wright, who is there in 3rd place and has showed his intentions by going past Shan Canivet. A look over the shoulder there for Martin Wright. William Omar is now also closing in on Shan Canivet. There is Aaron Coogan, who wants the driver that Vitter and Adams would be worrying about. He's now down in 6th, but don't discount him yet. Personal best laps for several of our leaders last time around. Nico Frank then in 7th place, and very much part of this lead group as we are on the penultimate lap now.
And this really has turned into a battle for P1 between, you could say 5, you could say almost 6 drivers now. If Aaron Coogan makes up probably about 10 kart lengths it could be, but on the penultimate lap that might be a day late and a dollar short as far as requests go, but it is still Truly Adams looking at potentially a lights to flag victory, though I don't want to bring out the commentator's curse at this stage of the weekend, Chris. It looks like it could be on, but he is under serious pressure from behind from Taman Vitter and Martin Wright, more widely speaking, as they come down into the final chicane. No moves yet. The lads behind really want to start thinking about getting a move on if they want to take victory in this heat. Look at them as they fly past the commentary box. They are line astern, and look at this. That looks to be Martin Wright. Oh, it's almost 3 wide through turn 1. Martin Wright! How have you done it? Martin Wright takes the lead. Truly Adams has fallen down the order, as has Taman Bitter. This is huge action, and suddenly Martin Wright leads. Shan Canivet is in 2nd, and I believe that's William Omar who has made his way up to 3rd.
Yeah, Martin Wright with a great move there. Truly Adams, I think a bit of a mistake, and then contact being made, which saw him run wide. That's seen him drop down to P5, so it's now Martin Wright who is leading. Shan Canivet in the yellow crash helmet defending from William Omar, coming through turn number 8 for what is the final time. What is going to be the plan here for William Omar? Will we see him make a move? Yes, he draws alongside Sean Caneve coming down towards turn number 9. They are side by side. I don't think he'll have time to make a move on leader Martin Wright as they come into the final chicane, and he's overshot it there, has William Omar. That's going to hand second place back to Sean Caneve. The win is going to go to Martin Wright with a fantastic move on the final lap to take himself from P3 up to P1. Sean Caneve seemed very pleased with his second place, and William Omar should be very happy with his third place. But Martin Wright, who started P9 on the grid, finishes in the lead of the race in the 214 car. That is a superb start to the weekend. Some fantastic moves and very instinctive to go and dive up the inside of Trilly Adams and Sean Caneve to go and take the race win right at the end there. Adams in the end was P4, stealing fourth place back from Aaron Coogan on the last lap. Vitter was sixth, and then it was Frank next along. There was some changes further back as well. Gassio Lee coming up the order, but good racing out front once again, all coming down to the final chicane, and in the end Wright taking the win with Sean Caneve taking back second with William Omar overshooting that final chicane. But a great race there to kick off the juniors racing, and I'm sure plenty more on the way. I'll leave you to run through the order. I'll head down to the grid.
Yes, so it was Martin Wright with a fantastic opportunistic move, climbing 8 positions from where he started to claim the win in spectacular fashion in front of the Frenchman of Sean Caneve in second, and William Omar with a very respectable result, climbing 5 places, having started P8 to finish in third. Then came Trilly Adams, disappointing heat for him, and then Aaron Coogan, who fell down the order in the early stages. Taman Vitter and Nico Franca finished in 6th and 7th respectively, in front of Chase Gassiet-Lee in 8th and Daniel Hartley in 9th, with Mark Fleming rounding out the top 10.
Roll out in front of me. I hand back up to Simon and leave you with the noise. Oh, seemed actually, wait, problem there, all sorted. So back to you up in commentary.
Thank you very much for that, Chris. Another great insight there, and it's fantastic to hear from the event organisers and from the wider administrative effort that goes into making this Tillotson T4 Nations Cup. Every single year it gets bigger and it gets better, and that is all thanks to the people who are involved. It is a team effort at the end of the day, and a team is only as strong as its weakest member. And when the team consists of so many people from the RGMMC, the RFEDA, Tillotson Racing, all of our fantastic sponsors, and also the Orange Army of Marshals here today, who have sprung into action on many occasions and rescued drivers from sticky situations, ensured that they're okay after incidents, and also cleared up after incidents as well. It is great to see such a team effort going into this event, and that is really one of the biggest pros about motorsport, is that it is such a team event. Even competitors have to agree on that the administrative team and the marshals and the stewards, even though the stewards make decisions that many of the drivers don't like at times, it's a very important role, and we wouldn't be able to race without. So thank you immensely to all of those folks who are involved. Anyways, we have the T4 Junior Heat. It is going to be Chase Biscaglia leading Amelie Ackitts, Ricardo Tabut, Eric Cuesto, Brian Wilson, Elias Fonjes, Jakob Joseph Havel, Matthias Glover, Lachlan Shearsmith, Keith Burke, Josh Allen, Joe Carney, Edward Clark, and we're away now, and I've not even got time to go through the rest of the order. It's a good start from Chase Biscaglia. He leads down into turn 1, immediately defensive to the inside, and it is going to be the 247 machine, I believe that is. No, it's not. Never mind, as there's drama down in turn 1 at the back. That's Warren Russell getting stuck in with some other drivers, getting hung out to dry, but it is Chase Biscaglia who has maintained the lead. Some drivers cutting over. I think that's Keith Burke cutting over the chicane there, but it is Chase Biscaglia from I don't believe Amelie Ackitts has maintained that second position. No, she hasn't. She's fallen down to third, and she's about to fall down to fourth even, as I'm not entirely sure who that is who has taken position number 2. My live timing hasn't updated. It may be Ricardo Tabut, but I cannot confirm that at this moment in time, unfortunately, as there's huge drama down into the turn number 7. hairpin, and that is the 2-2-3 machine. That is Eric Cuesto getting past. I believe that's Brian Wilson. Oh, and there's a slow runner. There is the 2-3-4 machine. The 2-3-4. I'm looking at my live timing. The 2-4-3. I believe that's Matteo Richter with a very poor start to his first heat, but as they come on to the second lap, it is Chase Pascalia who still leads, and it is Ricardo Tabut in second. Amelie Ackett's dropping down to third with Eric Cuesto, Brian Wilson, Elias Fornes and Lachlan Shearsmith rounding out the top 7 in front of Jakob Josef Havel, Keith Burke and Aston Sanchez.
Chase Pascalia, as you said, doing a good job so far. Amelie Ackett's doing a good job as well, I think, to reduce the amount of positions lost to just one, given what we saw happen to Daniel Hartley in the last race. So Ackett's slotted in there in third, Cuesto in fourth place. Then it is Brian Wilson in P5. The Irishman, in fact, no, it isn't, because that's Elias Fornes, I think, who would have just made a move, or that might have been Brian Wilson defending. So we were side by side for fifth place, and we're still side by side on the exit of the corner. There you can see what I'm talking about in the background. Wilson had the inside, Fornes was on the outside, so Wilson had been passed, retook the position on the exit of the corner. Leaders come through screen. There's that battle we were talking about for P5 at the top of screen. A point forward going on there for Wilson. 2 Fornes behind us. Amelie Ackett's now gets the move complete on Ricardo Tabut. That is a place regained. She's back into second, and now eyes are on Chase Pascalia on the lead of the race, and Eric Cuesto on the back of this group is the fastest driver on the circuit.
And it's fantastic to see the progression that's been made by someone like Amelie Ackett, who was here last year and managed to achieve respectable results, but nothing groundbreaking, as we said before. Now coming into this competition with a year more progress under her belt, and really giving Chase Pascalia a run for his money as there's a battle for third. Ricardo Tabut going hammer and tongue at it with Eric Cuesto, and it looks to be that's the 2-8-2 machine. That is Ricardo Tabut, who has come out on top, saying to Eric Cuesto, come on, let's work together, let's catch these two in front, as we've got the 2-2-1 machine of Elias Fornes going side by side with, that is, Brian Wilson into the final chicane. So nothing too much coming of that, apart from Brian Wilson managing to, well, actually he hasn't been able to take the position. I was looking at the live time, but it's just updated and has confirmed that no headway has been gained by Brian Wilson, the Irishman, trying to pass the locally racing Spanish driver of Elias Fornes.
Yep, so Fornes and Wilson having a good battle for P3. Likewise here for P5 rather. Likewise there for P3 as well. There are plenty of people watching on the top of on the top of the facility here at the Lucas Cordero circuit. Chase Pascalia leads us down in towards turn number 7 on lap 4 of the race. Amelie Ackett's behind, Ricardo Tabut next, as they come out onto the back straight once more. It's head down, and we've got an incident at turn number 8.
And I'm not entirely sure who it is, unfortunately. I was looking at the battle as it happened. Here it is. It's the 2-4-5 of, let me take a look at who that's is.
Loretti.
Loretti. Oh, Brooke Loretti, the reigning T4 South Africa junior champion, and Warren Russell as well, who we were speaking to just moments ago, having a coming together. And it has to be said that the South African contingent really are not getting lucky in these junior heats, where Anastasia Gerasis only in last race had a coming together with Tara Keneally, and now it's Brooke Loretti's turn to have some woes. And look at this up the inside of Amelie Ackett. Amelie Ackett's losing 2 positions there to Eric Cuesto and Ricardo Tabut in one corner. That's a disastrous. Oh, and there's another incident at turn 5. There's 2 carts, one on top of the other. I'm not entirely sure who that is. They're both out of the cart. Thankfully, no rolling this time. It's the 236 and the 219. Let me take a look at who that is. That's Aston Sanchez and the 239.
That is Daniel's Berezins.
Oh, dearie me.
Berzin, sorry.
It's a disastrous turn of event for those 2 drivers as the leaders make their way through the final chicane, completely unawares as to what has happened in the second sector. It is still Chase Pascalia, though, who, amongst all the drama, is still leading by less than 1/10 of a second from Eric Cuesto and Ricardo Tabut. Amelie Ackett has red in her eyes, and she's looking to make up those positions on this, the penultimate lap, as the marshals are clearing away the carts with much gusto. But there is still a yellow flag out, so no overtaking to be had into this corner. And all of the drivers respecting that yellow flag as they have to. But now it's gloves off on the penultimate lap, entering sector 3 almost at the end of this straight, and there's no moves down into turn 7 thus far, but this could all change in a split second, Chris.
Yeah, the top 4 you can see all together there. Chase Biscaglia looking over his shoulder. We were talking to Lucas Guerrero about this circuit layout and how it comes down to this chicane here that they are coming to now. You see the braking zone there. No one wants to be the one leading. They're going to let Chase Biscaglia do that. Amelie Ackett's taking plenty of curb. Looks like in second, Eric Cuesto ran slightly wide, almost opened the door there for Ricardo Tebut. Tebut almost opening the door for Amelie Ackett. Elias Fornes still in 5th. Brian Wilson has lost a place to Jakob Havel, but the top 4 remain in the positions they started the final lap in. Amelie Ackett's quickest on the circuit as they come through, and now we're side by side for P2. That's Ricardo Tebut trying to get second, and in doing so has lost 3rd place. Amelie Ackett has gone through into 3rd. Elias Fornes has joined the lead 4, so it's 5 for the lead now. Fornes trying to get past us. We're 3 wide in towards turn number 7 there. That's the 232 trying to get down the inside. So we're seeing this back, the 282 rather. That's Ricardo Tebut battling away with Amelie Ackett. They are 3, 4 and 5. Out front though, it is Chase Biscaglia leading Eric Cuesto. This is your battle for 3rd on screen. Chase Biscaglia defends into the final chicane. Is Eric Cuesto going to be able to get the run out the final chicane? They're going to be side by side up to the line, but Chase Biscaglia just hanging on by 0.04 of a second there.
Chase Biscaglia managing to take the win there in fantastic fashion. Another American victory to add to Truly Adams' tally from earlier on in the previous heat, and a fantastic performance thus far for the USA, and also Eric Cuesto making it a US 1-2 with Ricardo Tebut from South Africa in position number 3. Amelie Ackett going to be disappointed with that, falling down to P4 in the end, in front of Elias Fornes and Brian Wilson in position number 6. You have to say full credit though to Chase Biscaglia, a dominant drive while everything was happening around him. Literally, if there was an explosion you wouldn't be surprised, and he just maintained his cool, kept his head screwed on properly and took the victory in fantastic style. Didn't let the heat get to him, didn't let the pressure get to him, and has managed to take his first win of the weekend.
I've got to say credit to Elias Fornes as well for closing that gap down as you did, put in some really good lap times as well. But I'm going to head down and speak to some more drivers and maybe find some guests on the way. I'll let you run through the order.
Absolutely. Well, it would be a pleasure. So it was Chase Biscaglia who took the victory in front of his countryman Eric Cuesto, and Ricardo Tebut, as we say, rounding out the top 3 in front of Amelie Ackett and Elias Fornes, in front of Brian Wilson and Jakob Josef Havel. Keith Burke finished in P8 in front of Jorn Helder and Lachlan Shearsmith. Josh Allen finished just outside of the top 10 in position number 11 in front of Joey Carney, Edward Clark, Matthias Glover, Matteo Richter, Brooke Loretti, Warren Russell and Patricia Alcaraz finished in 18th, with Aston Sanchez and Daniel Petris Buzins.
Good stuff. And yourself, you enjoying it?
No.
We'll let you go. We'll let you go. I tried. Back to you in commentary.
At a point in time where they are likely focused very, very much on the race, on the race in question. It's great to have a little bit of insight from so many of the drivers to put us in good stead and understand a bit more about what goes into getting a good result in the T4 category at the T4 Nations Cup, the premier T4 event of the series. And I have Josh looking in the window at me with a very maniacal looking smile very wry looking smile. He's probably going to take a photo of me in a minute, looking like a complete so-and-so. Yeah, he's always thinking about it. He's thinking about it. Yes, I am sweating, Josh. It is absolutely boiling in here. You think you've got it tough? Well, at least you've got a breeze, sunshine. Anyways, let's talk about the race. The Junior BC heat. We have Daniel Hartley lining up on pole in front of Chase Biscaglia, Nico Franca, Ricardo Tabut, Chase Gassiet-Lee, Brian Wilson, William Omar, Jacob Joseph Havel, Phil Becker, Lachlan Shearsmith, Mark Fleming, Josh Allen, Antonio Martinez, Edward Clark, Richard Saker, Mateo Richter, Trevino, Aston Sanchez, Kyrillis Dmitrievs, Patricia Alcaraz, and Juan Diego Perez got there in the end, and we are go! And it's Daniel Hartley who leads down into turn one, and he has just about fended off Chase Biscaglia, who's been hung out to dry and has lost a position there to Nico Franca off the start, and starting on the disadvantageous outside line that really hasn't proved. Oh, and there's calamities down at turn number 3, but everyone's surviving with nothing more than potentially a flat spot or two, which is good to see at this stage in the race. But it is still Daniel Hartley who leads the pack and is beginning to break away, along with the two drivers behind him of Chase Biscaglia and Nico Franca already, which is very, very interesting to see the pace difference already in the race. It's so, oh, look at that, there's a move there for the lead. That's Chase Biscaglia getting past Daniel Hartley. Hartley having finished third in the final last year, and Chase Biscaglia unfortunately missing out on the podium, I do believe. And Chase Biscaglia, a knowledgeable driver with a lot of experience in the T4s of the Nations Cup, managing to capitalise on that knowledge and take position number 1 as they cross the line for the first time. It is Biscaglia from Daniel Hartley, from Nico Franca, Ricardo Tabut and Chase Gassiet-Lee.
Daniel Hartley, a much better start to the race this time, and gets the lead of the race. So hold on to it much better, clearly learning from the first race. And Daniel Hartley is our race leader. As we go on to the start of the second lap, we're making our way through turns 4 in towards turn 5. Chase Biscaglia there in second, Nico Frank in third place, Chabut is fourth place, Gassiet-Lee in fifth, then it's Wilson, then Becker, then Havel next along, Richard is in ninth place, Allen in P10, and we're side by side, 2 different places being changed around, one of them for third. I think that may have been Tabut side by side with Frank, and they have swapped places. More changes going on behind that as well. The likes of Richard has come up 7 places on that first lap to get inside the top 10. We're about to complete lap number 2. There's your leader Hartley coming out of the final corner. He leads ahead of Chase Biscaglia across the line as we complete lap number 2. Biscaglia though not happy with Daniel Hartley's driving down the start-finish straight there.
And could that be a little bit of the frustration of the day's heat coming into things? It's a difficult question. I mean, it is the heat of the day, still 24 degrees air temperature, and when you're doing something as physical as go-karting, it feels an awful lot tougher. But look at this, Hartley and Biscaglia going hammer and tong. Hartley maintains the lead, however, coming through turn number 5, and Hartley, it's a question, how much does that little bit of height make a difference as Biscaglia goes up the inside, and I'm starting to lose my voice. The racing is that good. Hartley falls down to third, Biscaglia up to first, and Ricardo Tabut has inherited second in all of that, and now Daniel Hartley has been taken by Nico Franca. It's first to fourth in one corner, but it's not over yet. Here comes Daniel Hartley back on Nico Franca up the inside. Can he get the move done into the chicane? It's a question of the ages, and it's a question that has been answered with a firm yes, and Daniel Hartley goes chasing back after Chase Biscaglia and Ricardo Tabut. However, they have pulled out almost half a second between them, and that is going to be very challenging to close up on, particularly when the battle is still there between Franca and Hartley. Who's going to come out on top? It is going to be Daniel Hartley, who just about manages to hang on to third position. Chase Gassiet-Lee passes Nico Franca as well. Brian Wilson could be getting involved in just a second if we're lucky as well. This is turning into a fantastic battle. The leaders, in other news, have gone. They have put half a second, as I say, between themselves and the rest of the pack, and they are going to be trying to break away with might.
And there was a change for P5 as well. I think that was Brian Wilson getting past Nico Frank. They remain side by side on the exit of the corner as well. So it waits to be seen who is actually ahead in that fight, because they were side by side for a number of corners. I think Frank just about managed to hold on to 5th place after going side by side 2 or 3 times. Right, across the line, Chase Piscaglia leads at the end of 4 laps. We're now on to lap number 5. Then we have Ricardo Tabut next. Daniel Hartley has dropped to P3 and has also dropped over a second back. We'll be trying to get after that top 2 once more. Chase Piscaglia has set the fastest lap, and that has helped get this gap over the likes of Daniel Hartley and the rest of the field. Then we have Chase Gassio-Lee in 4th place, who is past Nico Frank, then Brian Wilson, then it's Phil Becker next along, a change for 10th further back as well. Antonio Martinez is past Josh Allen, more side by side going on for 5th place as well. Brian Wilson, I think that might have been taking 5th away from Nico Frank, out onto the back straight one more time. Here is your top 2. I imagine they will stay in formation through the final chicane, and indeed they do so, as they are going to go onto the penultimate lap, and Daniel Hartley now finds himself under a lot of pressure in P3.
He does, and just to point out a little bit further down the order, we've got Matteo Richter having made up 7 positions, started in 16th, now up to 9th, so a fantastic start to the race for the young American, as Chase Piscaglia still leads, as we say, and 1.5 seconds between the top 2 and Daniel Hartley. Daniel Hartley seems to be losing his grip on the lead of this race. Increasingly, as the laps tick on, it's pretty much completely out of sight for him at this stage, having started so well, having started on pole, let's not forget. He's dropped down to P3 and just doesn't seem to have the pace to catch back up to the top 2, and now he might even fall into the clutches of the carts behind of Chase Gassio-Lee, Nico Frank, Brian Wilson and Jakob Josef Havel. As they come along the back straight, this could turn into a very, very interesting battle as they come on to the penultimate lap.
Out of the final chicane now, this will be penultimate lap complete. In fact, across the line there is Chase Piscaglia looking over his shoulder. Ricardo Tabut now looks to the outside, only one more opportunity to pass out each corner. Daniel Hartley 1.5 seconds back, and with lots of pressure, and now with an attack for 3rd place. That was Chase Gassio-Lee going down the inside and getting past. Daniel Hartley has lost 3 places at turn 3, has dropped down the order down to P6. There you can see the 3 drivers that have all got past. Gassio-Lee, Frank and Brian Wilson as well. Top 2 coming to the braking zone of turn 7, and it is Ricardo Tabut looking to the outside of Chase Piscaglia. Piscaglia defending. Door is opened on the exit of 8, and Tabut has found a gap on the inside and sneaks through. So it is Ricardo Tabut who is in the lead coming down towards turn number 9. Are we going to see Chase Piscaglia be able to get through into the braking zone, or on the run down to the start finish straight? Here we go. Tries to set it up through the right hander, can't quite do it. It's going to be Ricardo Tabut who takes the win ahead of Chase Piscaglia. In 3rd place will be Chase Gassio-Lee, having got past Daniel Hartley on that final lap, who managed to recoup a couple of places to finish P5. Nico Frank was P4. Then we had Brian Wilson in 6th place. Phil Becker was in 7th place. Then it was Jakob Josef Havel in 8th. Antonio Martinez was 9th. And Matteo Richter was in 10th place. Well, we're going to interrupt this before we go to the results to make a couple of paddock announcements. So, attention paddock, can we have mini category drivers number 112, Petra Milosavljevic, and 146, Tag Malone, to the steward's office, please. That's mini drivers number 112, Petra Milosavljevic, and number 146, Tag Malone. Can you please report to the steward's office immediately, please? Thank you. Okay, that is the drivers in the background coming into the pit lane. This is your full result, and this is Simon Byford to talk you through it.
So Ricardo Tabut takes South Africa's first victory in the heats this year in front of Chase Buscalia and Chase Gassier-Lee. Two chases weren't able to chase fast enough and weren't able to catch the South African. Nico Franke finished in P4, just missing out on the podium. A bad day for Daniel Hartley, and he finished down in 5th position, saving 1 position at the end, but ultimately not able to make good on that pole that he started off of. He finished in front of Brian Wilson and Phil Becker. Then came Jakob Josef Havel, Antonio Martinez, Matteo Richter and Josh Allen just missed out on the top 10. Richard Saker finished in P12 in front of Pre Trevino and Lachlan Shearsmiths, in front of William Omar, Mark Fleming, Kadils Mitrievs and Juan Diego Perez. Edward Clark finished in P19 in front of Patricia Alcaraz and Aston Sanchez.
Back up to you.
Well, thank you very much for that. As ever, thank you to our drivers for their contribution to the broadcast, to the live stream, and hopefully anyone who's watching along at home, hopefully you get the chance to see your favourite driver being interviewed at some stage over the weekend. Make sure to stay tuned so you don't miss out on anything like that. If you do miss out, remember you can always catch the stream on replay on YouTube. That's Tillotson Racing YouTube channel. Let's take you through the starting order, for this, the T4 Junior Qualifying Heat AD. It is going to be Truly Adams, the reigning junior champion, who leads the pack down into turn number 1. He's got Amelie Ackett alongside him and Shan Canivet just behind him. Then comes Eric Cuesto, another US driver, in front of Taman Witte and Elias Fornes, in front of Aaron Coogan, Matthias Glover, Martin Wright, Keith Burke, Tara Keneally and Joey Carney. Then comes Anastasia Jurasis and Jorn Helder in front of Jesus Asuncion and Daniels Petris Bazins in front of Victor Hampel, Brooke Loretti, Daniel Brunetsky and Warren Russell in front of Mika Sprentz, who rounds out the grid. Now let's hopefully get racing this time, the first time round, rather than doing 2 formation laps like the minis seem to enjoy doing. And Chris, you can have a drink of water. You're enjoying the cooling effect so much that you're just leaving it to sit in your mouth. It's perfectly understandable. It is absolutely boiling in here because the wind is coming from the east. You're hyperventilating now, that's never a good sign. The wind is coming from the east and we have a window on the west, so we are absolutely cooked. Now, anyways, here we go, getting ready for the start of the T4 Juniors. Are we going to go racing? Yes, we are. We're away, and it looks to be a good start by Amelie Ackett. She draws alongside Truly Adams, going down into turn 1. Can she make the move? No, she can't. Truly Adams with the slightly shorter line. Shan Canivet up into 2nd position. Amelie Ackett's falling down to 3rd. Eric Cuesto seems to have taken 3rd away from Amelie Ackett, who's now down to 4th, however. And no heroics through the chicane. That's good to see. No incidents thus far. But it is Truly Adams who leads the way from Shan Canivet, then Eric Cuesto, and then Amelie Ackett. Unfortunately, losing out on the start, 2nd to 4th, but that isn't uncommon. 2nd place is notoriously disadvantageous around the outside of the long right-hander as they come down into turn number 7. No moves as of yet. Remarkably calm, you have to say, from the T4 Juniors, and keeping things nice and civil as they make their way down the back straight into that heavy headwind. It's brilliant to have the flags on the opposite side of the track because you can see just the effect that the wind is having, how strong it's blowing and the direction that it's blowing as well. Unfortunately, it's not blowing in our window, but we won't worry about that as we come on to finish the final lap. As we say, Truly Adams leads the way from Shan Canivet, and then Taman Witte has got up into 3rd place, not Eric Cuesto. Then it is Amelie Ackett, then Eric Cuesto, then Aaron Coogan, then Matthias Glover.
It looked like Joey Kearney had a poor start, didn't really seem to get going coming down the start-finish straight and had to move over in avoidance and has dropped down the order. I believe it might have been him, might have been another driver. Someone ran into big problems, might have been Mika Sprentz, in fact, who had that issue coming down the start-finish straight, but it was a problem coming down the start-finish straight, but no such problems for Truly Adams, who leads the way from Shan Canivet, and in 3rd place is Taman Witte coming out of turn number 8 now, and now the run begins down to the chicane, and Shan Canivet gets his head down, pushing along Truly Adams, fastest on that first lap was Taman Vitter as they head over the chicane. Amelie Ackitts in P4, Eric Cuesto in 4th place as they make their way across the line, as Amelie Ackitts has dropped to 5th. And there comes a move from Jean Canivet. That is a change of lead. The Frenchman now leading the way as he gets past Truly Adams and takes with him Taman Vitter as well. So Truly Adams now down to P3, trying to fight back to take 2nd place. Not quite able to get through. So Adams down to P3, Canivet your leader.
And this is not territory that Truly Adams is familiar with. He's so used to leading in these T4 Nations Cup races here in Valencia. You nearly think that when he is racing, he is meant to be leading. You'd nearly think that there's a rule stating it from the performances that we've seen so far from the young Californian. But nevertheless, he is in position number 3, still on the podium. Not that we do podiums for heats, but still on the podium, so to speak, in a way. But he is under a lot of pressure behind from Eric Cuesto, his fellow American, down into the final chicane. Cuesto doesn't do anything, but Truly Adams has taken a bit much curb on the apex there, and that could leave him vulnerable if he doesn't defend down into turn 1. Is Eric Cuesto going to go for the move? No, he doesn't look like he will, as there's a fly pestering me. Aaron Coogan is battling there with, I believe that's Martin Wright. Yes, it is Martin Wright and Aaron Coogan there. Coogan comes out on top in that duel.
Leaders coming into turn number 4. I don't know who won your duel, but I think you just about won it in the end. Don't see no fly anymore.
It was a close fight. It was a close fight.
It was a close fight. Truly Adams now losing a place there. A hand went up in apology, that looked like. So I don't know if there was some contact, but Cuesto, in fact, that 2nd place, Vitter pointing forward. Cuesto is the one into 3rd place, it seems now. Oh, I can see what you mean. Truly Adams into...
He's nasty, isn't he, that fly?
Yeah, I can see hands waving around beside me now. Jean Canivet, on more important business, is leading down towards turn number 9. Through they go and up to the final chicane, and heavy on the brakes. No need to take too much curb through there. Taman Vitter now gets his head down in P2. Truly Adams just putting his head up there, hand up there, and Amelie Ackitts is going to go through to take the lead. Martin Wright, we quickly spoke to him. He was getting himself in the zone on the grid. And I think we spoke to, that might have been his father, but the person who was down with him on the grid. Saying that it's been a great weekend for them so far. They're up 3 places in this race, so a good race for them so far. P6, fastest lap in this race, and part of this lead 6 who are split by around 2 or 3 seconds, coming down to turn 7 as we have a change of lead.
We certainly do. Taman Vitter getting past Jean Canivet, and there's huge drama down the battle for P3. They're 3 wide. Look at this. It's Martin Wright, it's Amelie Ackitts, and it looks to be potentially it's Truly Adams as well in there. The battle for P3. Adams down to 4th, and Martin Wright has inherited a podium in that scuffle. But nevertheless, the fight doesn't seem to be over just yet, as I'm getting instructions to close the window from Chris, who's apparently sadistic because it's absolutely roasting in this commentary box. I don't care how many flies come in, I need to cool down. Look at this though, fantastic battle. That's Eric Cuesto getting past, I believe, Truly Adams perhaps, but I can't confirm that, or it might have been Ellis Fornes.
Taman Vitter defending from Jean Canivet in towards turn 4. Now we come in towards 5. Martin Wright doing a fantastic job in this race. Up 6. Can he possibly now gain 2 more? This is similar progress to what we saw last time. Vitter defends in towards the braking zone of 7. Canivet does not attack. Martin Wright right there in P3. Truly Adams is now up into 4th place past Cuesto. Then it is Amelie Ackitts in 6th. Fornes is 7th. Coogan is 8th. Then Helder. Then Burke. Kearney is in 10th place. Here we come. Down to the chicane. Will there be an attack for anyone? Martin Wright, I thought, was going to make one there. Seemed tempted, but did not pull a move off in the end. Right across the line to start the final lap. Who's your money on out of this lot? Taman Vitter, understandably, getting straight on the defensive down towards the first corner, but has ran wide. That's opened a chance for Caneve there, but now in fact he's going to lose a place. Found himself on the outside. That's allowed Martin Wright to go through into second place. Behind that, Adams fighting with Cuesto. He's lost 2 places. Cuesto's gone through the fourth. Ackett's was in 5th, but contact there with Adams. Sees Adams in 5th and Ackett's dropping down there, Simon.
And that could be crucial for Shan Canivet, that bit of contact into turn number 3. Now, if that was enough to displace the bumper, displace the front fairing, then that is a penalty and it is not appealable. So that could be extremely significant for Shan Canivet, who currently sits in 3rd with that distinctive yellow helmet. But look at this, a move for the lead on the final lap. It's Taman Bitter versus Martin Wright, right up the inside. He takes the position coming into the final chicane. Can Taman Bitter do anything about it? It doesn't look like it. It's Martin Wright who wins this heat in front of Taman Bitter and Shan Canivet, in front of Eric Cuesto and Truly Adams. A bad heat for Truly Adams, falling from 1st to 5th, and he is going to be extremely disappointed with that. His final heat of the day. Perhaps the temperature's just getting on top of him, but nevertheless he can very easily pull it back tomorrow, and it wouldn't be a bad bet to say that he probably will. But Martin Wright takes the victory, and I'm not sure, Chris, I think that might be the UK's first victory so far today, but I'm not sure. I will check on that.
I'll leave you to check on that, but that was a great drive from Martin Wright. Got to say, surprise Vitter didn't defend, but I don't think he anticipated the pace that Martin Wright was going to have down that back straight. Was probably more anticipating a defence was needed into the final chicane, and that is why maybe the door was left open for Martin Wright. But these are still the heats, and lessons can be learned for the final. But Martin Wright will take that. It's a win in the bag for him, up 8 places. Here's the full result for you.
So it was, as we say, Martin Wright who took the flag, gaining 8 positions. A fantastic race by the young Briton in front of Taman Bitter, securing that victory in the last sector of the last lap. Then came Shan Canivet in position number 3 in front of Eric Cuesto and Truly Adams in 5th, having lost 4 positions. Then came in P6 Elias Fornes and Amelie Ackett in 7th, having lost 5 positions. So a bad result for both Ackett and Adams, unfortunately, in this heat. Aaron Coogan lost 1 position, he finished down in 8th. And then Jorn Helder, well done to Jorn Helder, the Dutchman, gaining 5 positions up into P9, and Joey Carney finishing in 10th position. So a good heat, all things considered, from the young Irishman, finishing in front of Keith Burke, the fellow Irishman, and Daniels Petteris Bazins in 12th place. Matthias Glover finished in 13th, Tara Keneally in 14th, Brooke Loretti in 15th, Daniel Brunetsky and Warren Russell in front of Jesus Asuncion, Anastasia Jurasis, Mika Sprent and Victor Hampel.
Welcome back down to the grid. Juniors are getting ready, but before we go and speak to them, I'm going to speak to this man here who has, like probably some other drivers this weekend, has never been interviewed before, so this should be fun. Joe Shade from KartSim. We spoke to Josh yesterday.
Yes.
He told us a little bit about what's going on, so give us an update. I know we've got a competition going on down there. How's it going? Who's winning? Who's going to get that prize down at Silverstone?
Well, it's going really well, so we've been very busy all day.
In an interview, I'll keep hold of this, that's all right.
Oh, so I'll be off of it.
Yeah.
Get me again. But yeah, it's going really well. So we had a 104.7, which was the time to beat all weekend, and it's just been beaten last half hour, 104.6. Right. So you've got until 3 o'clock to try beat that. Winner gets half a day's free coaching with us in Silverstone on our big sim. So wraparound projectors, full motion, and we'll go through whatever track you want, spend a day, and trust me, you'll see the difference. You'll come out flying. Yeah, it's really, really good.
You were coaching me earlier. Should I stick to this or get back in the car?
Maybe come visit us at Silverstone, and then you'll be rapid as well. It's good. Yeah, but no, you weren't bad. You weren't bad. We've seen some driving this weekend, so yeah.
I was going to say the same with the interview. It's going well, mate. And the drivers here, been impressed with what you've seen on the sim?
Yeah, very impressed. Some people just straight on it. It can be difficult. You need some adjustment. So we usually say 3 laps to sort of get your head into it. But some people are straight on it, very impressive. Yeah, and some others it takes a bit getting used to, but no, I've been very impressed by some of the driving, yeah.
Thanks for coming to see us. Thanks for what you're doing this weekend. Right, I'm going to go and speak to some drivers. There we go. We'll speak to our top 2 and then we'll work down. How about that? Trilly Adams, we spoke to you yesterday. Solid day yesterday, I think. Were you happy with it?
Yeah. I wanted to get first in both the heats, but it was a pretty good day.
And I guess for today, it's get the win in this heat, super heat, and get front row for the final.
Yeah.
But America's going really well. Team USA, right?
Yeah, we're doing awesome.
Proud of the other guys?
Yeah. Well, everybody else is doing pretty good too. We just working together and having a great time.
Stuff. Glad you're having a good time. Well done. Keep it up. Good luck, guys. Good luck. Okay. Chase Biscaglia is being very quickly spoken to, as you can see here. Very quickly, Chase. Great day yesterday. Well done. More of the same today, I guess, right? You feeling fired up?
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting a good second in points. As long as I can just finish this in the top 3 and beat the guy that's in front of me in points, we can start pole for the super heat.
Best of luck. Loving the crash helmet as well, by the way. That looks mega. Who didn't we speak to? We spoke to these guys. Brian Wilson. I don't know if we spoke to you yesterday. Let's have a chat with you. I don't think we spoke to you yesterday. You had a good day yesterday. You had a good day.
All right, yeah.
It was sound, yeah.
Yeah, we got P5 in the first heat and we got up to 5th again in the second heat, but we got bumper and we got dropped to 10th, so it was all right though.
Close racing, out there?
Yeah, it's close. It's fucking unreal. I love it.
Good stuff. Good luck. Cool. Let's come to yourself. Hello. Love the race suit. Liking the suit. Enjoying it so far? Enjoying the experience?
Yeah, I'm enjoying this race. It's very good, and I'm ready to get in final and try to get the best score.
Good luck. Thank you. Let's go and speak to this. Yeah, we spoke to Martin. We spoke to Aaron. I want to speak to some new drivers if possible. I don't think we spoke to you. Did we speak? I don't know if we did. Enjoying it?
Of course.
Yeah. More of the same today.
Nah.
We'll see.
Yeah, exactly. As long as I keep the car in one piece, perfect.
Perfect. Good luck. And very quickly, we'll end over here. Hello. How are we feeling ahead of the race?
I'm feeling good. You know what? It's been an interesting day, and I'm really, really excited.
And how's the team getting on, South Africa?
It's been good.
Enjoying the experience?
Enjoying it. It's my first time racing internationally, so it's really an experience.
Well, I hope you have an amazing race.
Thank you.
Love the race suit as well.
Thanks.
Perfect. Good luck. Okay, I'm going to get run over, so I'm going to run back here. And they're going to send them. There goes the whistle. Back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. And great to see there Joe Shade getting involved from Kart Sim, a veteran of the T4 Esports series that I had the great pleasure of commentating on but a few months ago. So let's take you through the starting order for this first T4 Junior Heat of the day, the AC Heat, and it is going to be Trilly Adams who starts on pole in front of his countryman Chase Biscaglia and Shan Canivet lining up in 3rd position. Ricardo Tabut from South Africa is in 4th in front of Taman Bitter and Brian Wilson in 6th. Aaron Coogan lines up in 7th in front of Jakob Josef Havel and Martin Wright in position number 8. Lachlan Shearsmith then starts in front of Tarek Neely and Josh Allen. Anastasia Gerasis, who we just heard from, then starts in front of the 2 Spaniards of Edward Clark and Jesus Asuncion. Mateo Richter, another American on the grid, starts behind them in front of Victor Hampel and Aston Sanchez. Daniel Brunetsky then starts in front of another Spaniard of Patricia Alcaraz, and Mika Sprentz lines up in the final grid spot as we get ready to start this first T4 Junior Heat of today. And hopefully it will be just as good as the mini heat that we have just witnessed, which was absolutely sensational. I hope you didn't miss it on the live stream, but if you did, you can always go back and watch it. Don't watch it now, watch it later when the rest of the racing has concluded, and you will see just what we're talking about when we say it was an absolute corker. Now, as the juniors round their way through the final chicane, through the cut through, lining up into the tram lines, we get ready to go racing. Will Truly Adams lead into turn number 1? Let's see now. It's a good start by Chase Biscaglia. The two Americans starting well. Shan Canivet looking up the inside. Will he be able to take the American? It looks like he will. Chase Biscaglia falling down the order into perhaps 5th or 6th position there, but he will have the inside. But it is going to be Truly Adams from Shan Canivet, and then I believe that's Ricardo to Butt. Oh, and there's a driver off there. That is the 276 machine. Let's take a look at who that is. I'm not entirely sure if you can check that. Excuse me, Chris? It was Patricia Alcaraz. That's terribly unfortunate for the young Spanish lady racer, but nevertheless, still plenty of time in this race to try and pull something back, but it will be difficult. Almost a full sector behind the leading group. As they make their way down into turn number 7, it is still Truly Adams who leads from Shan Canivet, and then I believe that's Ricardo Tabut or perhaps Taman Vitter in position number 3. I can't quite make out the plate, but I believe it is Taman Vitter. Taman Vitter up into 3rd place, but Chase Biscaglia will be hunting him down and looking to retake his rightful position where he started in 2nd, and then make his way past 1st, as there is an investigation underway for the 252 machine, and that could prove hugely significant. That is Chase Biscaglia. Chase Biscaglia under investigation, having started 2nd, fallen down to 4th now. He is under investigation, so that could be something to watch out for the rest of the race and the final classifications, Chris.
Yep, not too sure why. Possible jump start maybe, but not too sure, as Biscaglia trying to get down the inside there of Vitter and Canivet. I don't think he meant to pass both, but certainly tried to. It looks like Vitter, I think that may have been Canivet rather, may have been pushed wide there, and Vitter has gone through. So we see a change out front. In fact, Truly Adams has gone backwards to 3rd, isn't it? Canivet now leading. Vitter, I think that might be up to 2nd. Then Truly Adams down to 3rd. So Canivet on the attack rather than going backwards. This is great stuff from the juniors. Top 10 altogether down the back straight. There they are. We can see the 222 of Coogan just defending slightly from right. Those two were together on a couple of occasions yesterday, working together as well, and they seem to be doing the same so far this morning. Head down for the Frenchman Shan Canivet, who leads us down to the first corner on lap number 3. Taman Vitter stuck right in behind. Then it is Truly Adams who started from pole position. Ricardo Tabut is then in 3rd place. Chase Biscaglia starting from the front row, under investigation for what could possibly be something to do with the start, as a change for lead. There we go, Vitter down the inside, but he's ran wide in his attempts to pass Canivet. It almost opened the door for Truly Adams, but he's now lost 2 places, 1 to Tabut and 1 to Biscaglia. Wrong place, wrong time for Truly Adams. Vitter now hits the front of this race as we head down to turn number 7 on lap number 3. Into 8 we go, and all the juniors right together in this first heat of the morning.
And it looks to be a 6-cart train. In fact, it is a 7-cart train actually for the lead of the race, as Taman Vitter still leads Shan Canivet. Is that going to change into the final chicane? Let's take a look. No moves from the Frenchman. Still sitting in P2, having scored a 2nd and a 3rd yesterday. He is looking to take his first win, and he might have an opportunity. He's round the outside. Taman Vitter looks to be slow on the inside. Oh, dearie me, I cannot speak. Shan Canivet manages to take the lead. How has he done that from the outside? Here comes Biscaglia. Biscaglia tries to take 2nd. He can't do it. Taman Vitter still defending hard. Biscaglia with the fastest lap, despite being under investigation. He will not be deterred, and he is now up into 3rd place, having bumped down the 282 machine of Ricardo Tabut, who is now falling down the order. Oh, I'm going to lose my voice with this, Chris.
Shan Canivet leading Vitter down towards turn number 7 there. Chase Biscaglia in 3rd place. Ricardo Tabut in 4th. Truly Adams in 5th, as we are on lap number 4 of 7. Here we go down the back straight then. Head down for Canivet. Taman Vitter thinks he's found a bit of a gap here to maybe work with the Frenchman as they come in towards the final chicane. this now on lap number 4. Across the line, we're into the second half of the race. We've got Biscaglia being assisted now from Tebut, or do we? Because Chase Biscaglia defending into the first corner there. Now we have, once again, we did have a bit of a gap between the top 2 and the rest of the chasing pack. That has now completely diminished as Witte took too much curb coming out of turn 3, and that's going to lose him a place to Chase Biscaglia. So Biscaglia helping himself to a place. Taman Witte only himself to blame on that one. Took too much curb through the left-hander at turn 3. That unsettled the car, and now he's lost 2 places to the Americans in Biscaglia and Adams as well. But he will be fighting back. He's going to try and go with Trulli Adams, who tries to get past his countryman there, Chase Biscaglia. And on the exit, how about that for some redemption? Taman Witte there has done the undercut on both Biscaglia and Adams and get himself back up to second place. So place restored for Taman Witte as quickly as 5 or 6 corners. He's back into second, and he's already caught the leader in the length of the back straight.
This is just exactly what you wanted. Why couldn't we have this yesterday as well, as Taman Witte up the inside of Sean Canivet, who has been lackadaisical into turn 1, has been bumped down, and they're 3 wide approaching turn 2. Oh, there's contact there. That's Ricardo Tebut and Martin Wright getting a bit too close to each other. Sean Canivet has re-inherited second position thanks to that, but look at him, he's getting shuffled down the order like a good one. Martin Wright is suddenly up into a podium. That looks to be Trulli Adams, who's trying to capitalise as well, having fallen down from pole position. He's trying to bring his way back up. Martin Wright with the fastest lap. This is just, I cannot breathe fast enough to commentate this, Chris. I'm going to pass out in a second, but we will still try to remain conscious while this battle is happening in front of us, because it is absolutely sensational.
Great stuff from the juniors onto the back straight. We go. Do you want to pick your head out the window?
I will do, yeah.
As they come down towards the final chicane. Right, Taman Witte now has a gap of about 1 second. There's your second and third on screen. Tebut and Wright onto the start-finish straight we go, and Wright takes a big old look over his shoulder. Though they have long enough to catch Taman Witte. Well, with how quickly we've seen gaps coming down that back straight, possibly, but Wright has gone past Tebut. He wants that second place. He's taken it. I think the race win could possibly be in the bag here for Tebut here. Wright has to be conscious of the fact that he's got Tebut and a chasing pack coming in behind. That's being led by Chase Biscaglia in 4th, Trulli Adams in 5th place. Then behind that is Canivet. Right, down towards turn number 7. Biscaglia looking over his shoulder at Trulli Adams. We've got the Nations Cup at stake here as well, and the Americans want to take that, and they've both gone past the 282 car of Ricardo Tebut there. So 2 places gained, and also going with them is Sean Canivet onto the back straight. Oh, and that's aggressive defending from Chase Biscaglia there. Just got over in time to defend from Trulli Adams into the chicane for the final time. Biscaglia defending from Adams. Canivet trying to go round the outside. Contact almost made there, and that's going to be the win for Witte. Wright takes second. Biscaglia walks away with third. Canivet 4th. Tebut in 5th. Adams in 6th. Wilson in 7th. Havel in 8th. Coogan 9th. Shearsmith was in 10th place. Taman Witte, a mistake halfway through the race, almost lost him it, but Taman Witte worked very well and executed some great moves there to get himself back into the lead of the race, and then get a gap of just under half a second to go and win it as well. Credit to Martin Wright. He's been doing this all weekend, working up from the 4th row of the grid and getting himself up into the top 3 positions. Chase Biscaglia had a tough job defending from Trulli Adams, who in the end lost places to both Canivet and Tebut as well. But good sportsmanship all round. A bit of a thumbs up there from Taman Witte to Martin Wright. Another great junior race, and the good news is there's one more coming after this. First of all, here's your result from A and C qualifying heat number 5.
Well, who would have seen this coming? Taman Witte takes the win, having climbed 4 positions from starting 5th on the grid in front of Martin Wright, who climbed up from 9th on the grid to take 2nd place. Chase Biscaglia dropping down a position, only able to take 3rd. Sean Canivet and Ricardo Tebut both missing out on the podium, and Trulli Adams started 1st, finished in 6th in front of Brian Wilson and Jakob Josef Havel, who was Well, he finished where he started, so a reasonably calm race considering what we saw. Then came Aaron Coogan and Lachlan Shearsmith to round out the top 10, as was said. Tara Keneally finished just outside the top 10 in 11th in front of Josh Allen, Edward Clark, Daniel Brunetsky, Matteo Richter, who received a warning flag, I believe, for track limits, but I could be wrong on that front. Then came Anastasia Jurasis, who fell down 3 positions from where she started in 13th. Mika Sprentz finished in 17th in front of Victor Hampel and Jesus Asuncion. And then came Astrid Sanchez and Patricia Alcaraz, who was unfortunately involved in that incident at the start of the race. Well, what a racing... what a series of races it has been so far. I mean, things are getting so exciting that my brain can no longer formulate sentences that make sense, and we have so much more coming up. We have another T4 Junior Heat, the B and D groups facing off against each other in a little less than 8 minutes' time. Then we will have the seniors, groups A and C, before B and D take to the track, and then we will have the final heat of the day, which will be T4 Senior 165 Heat 3, 11:40 local time. As ever, all times given in Spanish local time, which is GMT +2, so make sure to take that into consideration if you are watching along on the live stream. Then we will get into the super heats. It's the minis, it's the juniors, it's the second group of juniors, and then the 2 groups of seniors before we have the 165 super heat. Then we will go for lunch, and as the nerves build up, we will get ready for the finals, the T4 mini final, the T4 junior final, seniors, and then 165s, all before we have the podium presentations and then crown the T4 Nations Cup champions. The T4 Nations Cup currently held by the United Kingdom, who absolutely blitzed the field last year. But I have to say, the US having a very strong showing thus far. All right, it didn't go particularly for them in the last heat that we witnessed, that T4 Junior Heat, with Truly Adams falling down the order and Chase Pascalia only managing to able third. But we have another T4 Junior Heat coming up. Let's go down to Chris in the pre-grid area. Chris, what can you tell us about this?
Thanks very much, Simon. Fantastic job there, mate, on the last one. Okay, we'll go and speak to some more drivers, shall we? Let's come down to the front row. We were just speaking about this, actually, before we went on air there about the start. It's obviously a bit of a tough one yesterday, Daniel, for starting on the outside. Inside this time, that's where you want to be, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about the starts yesterday. Just, I know couple of them, one of them you fell back to 8th. Is it just outside here is really, really tough?
Yeah, just outside, if you're on the rubber, it's actually quite slippery. It does sound grippy, but it actually isn't.
And after that, once you've dropped back a little bit, very hard to get yourself back up, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're enjoying it? You're in a good position overall?
Yep.
Good stuff. Got to be on pole position now for the final. That's the goal?
I will.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Top man. Okay. We'll speak to our front row drivers, and then we'll head down and try and find some new faces. How about that? Amelie Ackett's had a good day yesterday. Like you're facing the car in the right direction, right to the camera. It's almost like you knew I was coming. Yesterday was good?
Yeah, it went all right, definitely. We're just getting good positions as we can in the heat, so then finally we can definitely push the front.
And I mean, we saw a really good race there. I don't know, you might not have caught much of it, but that's been a kind of sign. Very close racing, 6 to 8 for the lead all the time.
Yeah, it's good fun, definitely. Very close and enjoying it a lot.
This track seems to lend itself to that as well.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, best of luck for this one. We'll see how you get on. Thanks for speaking to us. Let's try and find some new faces. I'm trying to think who I haven't spoken to. Questo. Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
I mean, Team USA is going very well so far.
Yeah, very good, very fast. Trying to be at the top for each class.
Yeah. Where's that come from, would you say? You're part of the team. Is there a lot of teamwork before the event and whilst you've been here, track walks, things like that?
Oh no, it's just a team effort for everyone, and we're all fast and we all help each other.
Good team spirit as well. That seemed like that on the parade.
Yeah, very good team spirit.
And yourself, talk us through how you're getting on as well.
Oh, not good. A second and a fourth, and try to go for the win in this one.
Many people watching back home?
Oh yeah, a lot of family.
Many people want to give a shout out to?
Probably my dad, my mom, my grandma, my family, my entire family, and my team.
Good stuff. Well, I'm sure they're watching through that camera right there. Go and do them proud. Well done. You're doing a great job so far. Thank you for that, guys. Yeah. Cool. I don't know if we've spoken already, but we haven't. Okay, perfect. Hello. Those are really nice race gloves, by the way. Absolutely mega. How are we doing so far?
We've been good so far. It's been ups and downs, but we figured it out. So we're hoping we get to the front.
We've seen you at the front quite a bit. So yeah, seemingly very good pace out there.
Yeah. We've just been finding the gear and stuff, so we've just been finding setup.
And the track. Oh, they are loud, aren't they? Enjoying the track?
Yeah, I like the track. It's very flowy.
Favorite part? Favorite corner?
The chicane.
Good luck. Who haven't I spoke to? I don't know if we've spoken. I don't know if we have. I'll try again. Hello. Good weekend so far?
Sorry?
Good weekend so far?
Yeah, hopefully I can pick up some places today, but yeah, we're going to try our best.
Good luck. I don't know if we've spoken to... No, we certainly haven't. We'll come to this one. Hello. Looking mega, I have to say. I'm going to come around this side. A little bit more. Should be able to hear me a bit better now. Mate, you look mega, by the way. Race suit, helmet. Very good. Got to be worth a tenth or two. How are we going on track?
Yeah, good. Good qualifying, starting 10th. Obviously, a bit of ground to make up if we want to win the heat. But at the pace we're going at, we should be making the final. So yeah, head down and keep pushing.
Good to be away racing in a sunny country, right? Don't get much better than that.
Yeah, it's good. It's been very hot this weekend, so the track's been very grippy and a good condition for racing. So yeah.
Good luck. We got a bit of time. I think we spoke to Joe. We will keep moving. I don't know if we did or not. Have we spoke to you? We have? Okay, cool. We'll keep moving. Thanks for being honest. I do appreciate that. Let's come to this man here. Hello.
Well.
How are we doing? How are we getting on so far? Enjoying it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good weekend. Fun week. Is it fun?
What?
Has it been a fun weekend so far?
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Enjoying the circuit, racing's good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. I have the inside line now, so should be good. I got hit off in P2 yesterday, so.
Well, we'll let you get ready for the race. Thanks for speaking to us. Thank you. Cool. 30 seconds. We will speak to one more. Hello. How are we doing? Good weekend?
Yeah, I am good. I am trying to be fast so I will get in finals.
Good stuff. Best of luck. Where are we going to go? Are we going to get up the order here?
What?
We're going to get up the grid this time. Are we going to get a few places here?
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, good luck. Thank you. Good luck to the drivers. We will speak to a few more. Any we haven't spoke to, I will try my best to speak to every single one. Oh. There we go. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris. So good to hear from our mini drivers. And hello to everyone who's watching back home and cheering on our drivers from afar. They may not be here in person, but they are here in spirit now. Let's take you through the grid for this, the second junior heat. It is going to be Daniel Hartley who starts on pole in front of Amelie Ackett in position number 2. Nico Franke, the German, starts in third place in front of Eric Cuesto and Chase Gassier-Lee, the 2 Americans, in front of Elias Fornes, the Spaniard, and William Omar in front of Matthias Glover, Phil Becker, Keith Burke, who we heard from there, Mark Fleming, Joey Carney, and Antonio Martinez, as well as Jorn Helder and Richard Seika in front of Daniels Petris Bezins and Pri Trevino. Brooke Loretti lines up in front of Kirilis Mitrievs and Warren Russell, and then Juan Diego Perez rounds out the grid. So a cracking grid we have for this T4 junior heat. the second of the junior heats this morning, and what a heat it is set to be. If the racing that we have seen already this morning is anything to go by, it should be absolutely fantastic. And sure enough, we will be seeing some fantastic battles and potentially a new winner. I mean, we've had Martin Wright, we've had Ricardo Tabut, we've had Chase Biscaglia, we've had, well, actually Martin Wright has won 2 of the heats this weekend. So as far as the juniors are concerned, he is doing very, very well for himself and flying the flag very high for the United Kingdom as they round the final chicane. We get ready to go racing. It's Hartley on the inside, Ackett's on the outside. And we go racing now, and it's a good start by Daniel Hartley. Emily Ackett's falling down the order. She's fallen victim to Nico Franca, who's up the inside and through. Emily Ackett's being hung out to dry. It's very difficult to make moves on the outside on lap 1. Emily Ackett's falling down potentially to 4th or 5th, really hammering that inside curb on turn 2. But it is Daniel Hartley who leads from Nico Franca, and then comes the 218 machine, excuse me, 21, I'm not entirely sure who that is, so let's just go back to Daniel Hartley and Nico Franca for now until we get an update live timing as they round their way through turn number 5. Emily Ackett looks to be defending there from, I believe that might be Eric Cuesto, who's behind her, and attacking hard as they come down now into turn number 7. Still as you were as far as the leaders are concerned. Daniel Hartley maintaining his lead off the start in front of Nico Franca, and Emily Ackett is she's down to 5th actually. Now here we get a good look at the numbers. It is the 215 machine in 3rd position. That is Chase Gassiet-Lee, who has managed to climb up into a podium position, having started in 5th, excuse me. But look at this, 3 wide almost down the straight. Emily Ackett's looking to make moves on the outside. It didn't work for her on lap 1. Can she make it work on lap number 2? No is the answer to that. It is a strong no, and it still is. Let us take a look. It is still, oh my goodness me, look at this, a move there by Chase Gassiet-Lee up the inside of Nico Franca, who seemed to just get it all wrong through turn number 3, and this is really causing havoc as the 241 of William Omar seems to be attacking Eric Cuesto. Emily Ackett's trying to make something of this, but finding it very difficult as she's now falling victim to, I believe that's Phil Becker and Matthias Glover behind her, and this battle, I mean, Daniel Hartley has checked out in front. He's got 7/10 of a gap to that is Chase Gassiet-Lee, who is now behind him, and this is really turning into a battle for the podium more than it is a battle for the win.
Great start from Hartley. Mentioned on the grid how he struggled starting on the outside, but inside is where he wants to be, and a gap is what he needs. That's exactly what he has. However, if Gassiet-Lee and Cuesto work together here, then there is a chance they can go and chase him down, and that's what the Americans are going to do. They spoke on the grids. We spoke to Eric about how there's such a good team spirit around in the American camp and how they are working together. Oh, as we say that, a little bit of contact. There we go. That's not the, I don't know if there was contact or if that was maybe a bit too much curb, one or the other, but nevertheless it's lost Gassiet-Lee a lot of places. I don't know if it was either a mistake or a little bit of assistance, but Cuesto nevertheless goes on. William Omar goes with him in 3rd place now. He will help himself to a position. Round turn 8 now they go. The gap to Daniel Hartley is a second, and it's already starting to come down. Look at it, 0.8 of a second. Let's check back in with that when they hit the start finish line, because the 251 of William Omar is pushing Cuesto all the way into the chicane. 0.8 should become around 0.6 of a second when they cross the start finish line. Up to the line they go, and does the gap come down? It goes to 0.7 of a second. So Daniel Hartley's lead is under big threat here as Gassiet-Lee begins to come back up the order, making a place there on Becker.
And it was Elias Fornes who spun out there at the chicane, having been running in 9th position. And there's the 269 machine. Let's take a look at who that is.
Diego Perez.
It's Juan Diego Perez there, who was running in 19th now. And fastest lap there for William Omar, so really pressing on in 3rd position, using that slipstream and that bump draft with Eric Cuesto to really try and push down on Daniel Hartley. That gap down to almost 6.5 tenths, and you can see as we look out the commentary box, it is closing cart length after cart length, and this could very easily become a ferocious battle for the lead as Daniel Hartley makes his way down the back straight into the final chicane. The leaders spread out quite a lot more than we saw in the mini heats just previous to this, but still closing up. And this little train that we have going on between Eric Cuesto, William Omar, Amelie Ackerts could very easily get involved in it as well, could really start pushing Daniel Hartley to the limit as Amelie Ackerts sets the fastest lap of 105.8 as they make their way into the chicane. Still no drama. It is very much just putting lap after lap in, but look at Daniel Hartley. Look at how much he's fallen into the clutches of Eric Cuesto. Eric Cuesto up the inside. Hartley fights back. Can Eric Cuesto get the cut back? He's trying his best. He's on the inside, and this is going to benefit William Omar hugely. Amelie Ackerts is licking her lips thinking, what can I make of this? But it is Eric Cuesto who has managed to take the lead. William Omar attacking him round the outside, and Daniel Hartley down to third, now battling with William Omar, who maintains a second place, but Eric Cuesto up into first.
Great driving from Amelie Ackerts. Great move from Cuesto there, who may not have planned to go through at turn 4, but the opportunity presented itself. Caught Daniel Hartley very quickly, and he went through. Daniel Hartley trying his best to fight back. Wasn't quite able to get through. However, he's still right there in third. He's right behind Amelie Ackerts, who's trying to encourage him to push with her. But Daniel Hartley is going to go by and take second place, and in fact take the race lead. Goes by William Omar for the lead, and by Eric Cuesto. Amelie Ackerts going with him. So it's now Hartley and Ackerts 1-2. William Omar was a little bit frustrated that Daniel Hartley wasn't going with him there, but he's gone and taken the race lead in one move. Fantastic driving from Daniel Hartley, who hits the front once more. Amelie Ackerts in P2. Any one of these 4 could win, and then it's a gap of around 9 tenths of a second back to the chase impact into the braking zone at turn number 7. Now back to turn 8. Daniel Hartley knows where the attacks could be coming. Will he go defensive down the back straight? I'd expect so. Let's see as he comes onto the back straight. Amelie Ackerts looks over her shoulder, pushes Daniel Hartley down the back straight. Clever driving that from Ackerts. Sees they've got a little bit of a gap over the field. William Omar running a little bit deep on the brakes into the chicane. That opens up a gap for the top 2, and William Omar now forced to go defensive down towards turn 1 as we start the final lap, Simon.
And brilliant driving there from Amelie Ackerts to follow Daniel Hartley through. Fantastic strategic thinking there from the young Briton. It is a British 1-2 as we currently sit on the final lap, the final 2 sectors. Is it going to be Hartley? Is it going to be Ackerts? Is it going to be Omar? It's currently a British 1, 2 and 3. Which Briton is going to win it, or can Eric Cuesto or maybe even Chase Gassier-Lee make his way through in some turn of events? If there was some drama, they would be in pole position to capitalise on it, but it seems like Hartley has it all under control. Ackerts doesn't seem to be able to do too much at this stage. She's having a look up the inside but not able to get alongside, but here they come along the back straight. Is Ackerts going to be able to do anything? She's almost close to William Omar behind than she is to Hartley in front. It is going to be Hartley who leads into the final chicane. Look at this though, William Omar up the inside of Amelie Ackerts. Who's it going to be? It is going to be Daniel Hartley who takes the flag. Amelie Ackerts finishes in second, and oh my goodness me, at the flag, Eric Cuesto manages to take third in front of William Omar, who has been pipped at the post. That was absolutely sensational, and Eric Cuesto, having taken a second place in yesterday's heats, manages to take a third place now. That is absolutely brilliant attack from the young American.
Great driving from Daniel Hartley to go and take the race win. Lost it at one stage, but pulled off some great moves to fight back. Amelie Ackerts going with him with that fantastic overtake into turn 1. Third to first. Thank you very much, said Daniel Hartley as he went and took the race win. Amelie Ackerts helped herself to second place in the process. Eric Cuesto, the best of the rest after that, holding off the likes of William Omar and Chase Gassier-Lee, Nico Frank, those guys catching up just a little bit too late in that battle. We now know our top 4 the top 4 rows in the qualifying for the superheat. It will be Martin Wright and Chase Viscalia row 1, Taman Vita, Shankanave row 2, Cuesto and Hartley row 3, Akits and Tabut row 4. Here's the result from heat number 6.
Well, what a race it was. We weren't let down by that last lap, were we? It was Daniel Hartley who took the win in front of Amelie Akits in second, and Eric Cuesto just about managing to finish in third with only a 4/100th of a second gap to William Omar behind. Chase Gassiet-Lee finished where he started in 5th place in front of Nico Franca and Antonio Martinez in 7th. Phil Becker finished in 8th in front of Keith Burke, Jorn Helder and Mark Fleming just missing out on the top 10. Richard Saker gained 3 positions from where he started and finished in 12th in front of Joey Carney and Pri Trevino from the Philippines. Daniels Petris Bazins finished in 15th place in front of Matthias Glover and Brooke Loretti in 17th. Warren Russell finished in 18th in front of Kirill Mitrievs in 19th, and Elias Fornes unfortunately getting involved in that incident at turn number 3, spinning out and losing much time, and finished in 20th place. And then Juan Diego Perez.
This Noah Rosser, who's going to come and join us in commentary. What's your thoughts on what you've seen so far in juniors?
Oh, it's pretty tough. Everybody's, same speed. It's just whoever plays the draft card right, and in both heats, super competitive. Whoever can get a good start, it's a million things can happen.
Yeah. Look, you're going to come and join us. We'll let you get in the zone for your race. Thank you. So I'm going to walk down. There's Stu Stretton. I mean, look at what this man is wearing. Look at what this man is. How on earth are you wearing that, Stu?
I'm ginger. I got to be covered up.
Having a good time?
Yeah, brilliant event. Absolutely loving it.
This is him and Josh are the best karting photography team out there.
Yeah, I'm better than Josh though.
Who haven't I spoke to? That's what I'm trying to think. I want to speak to some new people. Have we spoken? We've spoken? Okay, cool. I believe I've spoken to Martin. Very good race so far. We had Damon in commentary. We've spoken before. I want to speak to some new faces. I don't know if we spoke. I don't think we have. Hello. How are you doing? What's your name?
My name is Richard Chica.
And how's your weekend been?
Yeah, my weekend's been pretty good.
And enjoying the whole experience of it all?
Yeah, I am really enjoying Tillotson.
Good stuff. Best of luck for the race, young man. Cool. Let's go over here. I'm going to speak to this guy. What's your name?
Matthias Glover.
And are you having a good weekend? Very good.
Yes.
We're going to get P1?
Yes.
Good stuff. Best of luck. And we'll speak to this guy here, Richter. Hello there. What's your name?
My name is Mateo Richter.
And whereabouts are you from in America?
California.
And how are you enjoying Spain?
I'm doing pretty good, but I'm looking for top 10, top 15. It's good for me.
We think we can do it? We got the pace and the car to do it?
Yeah.
About slipstreaming this, isn't it? And working your way through?
Yep.
Team USA is going well?
For sure.
Team USA all the way?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Best of luck. Thank you very much, guys. I think that'll about do it. This young man looks fired up. I'm going to speak to the Spaniard here very quickly. We're ready to go for this one. We're going to make some places.
Yeah. 10 places.
10?
Yeah.
Let's do it, man. 10 places. Let's go. I like that. I like the enthusiasm. I'm looking out for that one. We're going to be looking out for that one, Simon. Whistle's going to go now. Carts are going to go. Back up to Simon with the grid.
Well, thank you very much for that, Chris. And it is set to be a brilliant junior superheat now. The first of 2 that we have for you this afternoon before the finals. And it is going to be Sean Canivet, the Frenchman, who will be leading all of the drivers down into turn 1, down past the lights, alongside Daniel Hartley and Chase Gassiet-Lee just behind him. Then comes Aaron Coogan and Nico Franca, and then Eric Cuesto and Antonio Martinez in front of Martin Wright and Lachlan Shearsmith. Taman Vita in front of Mark Fleming, Joey Carney, Matthias Glover, Richard Saker, Mateo Richter, who we just spoke to. And then comes Brooke Loretti, Edward Clark, Jesus Asuncion, William Omar, Patricia Alcaraz and Aston Sanchez. And it is set to be an absolutely fantastic final. As we say, Sean Canivet with a fantastic performance this morning, battling right up at the front during the T4 junior heats that they had earlier on today. And a fantastic job by all of our competitors. Daniel Hartley having a good showing, as did Chase Gassiet-Lee. He finished in, I believe it was 5th position. Aaron Coogan was also up there. Nico Franke, he's one to watch as well. Fast starting German many a time. Eric Cuesto starting slightly further back than arguably he should be. His pace is more reflective of the top 5 than his starting position of 6th. And many of the drivers will be looking to climb their way up. There can only be one winner in T4s, however. That will be decided after lunch. The T4 Super Heats are designed to give us a prediction as to who will come out on top in the finals. But it is the Super Heats that we have to be concerned about now. We all look to the lights and we go racing immediately. It's a brilliant start by Daniel Hartley. He immediately cuts to the inside and takes first position off Sean Canivet, who gives in a bump into the turn 1. But it is a fantastic start by the Briton of Daniel Hartley, taking Sean Canivet off the start. Sean Canivet is not done yet though, as there's some battling going on slightly further down the field into the midfield. But it is Daniel Hartley who leads from Sean Canivet, and then Taman Vitter, I believe it is, no, excuse me, not Taman Vitter. It looks to be perhaps Chase Gassiet-Lee in 3rd position.
Yeah, we had a problem for a couple of karts there. I think Brooke Loretti's going to go no further in this race. There you can see Loretti being dragged away, unfortunately. So an early in for Brooke Loretti, but a good start out front for Daniel Hartley, who leads us onto the back straight for the first time. He is under investigation, could be for the start, but he's being pushed along for Sean Canivet. We won't say much more of that unless we hear of it. Into the final chicane we go, and carrying a lot of speed into there was Daniel Hartley. Here we go, Canivet pointing forward as he makes his way now down the inside, changing his intentions within a couple of meters. Now gets down the inside of Daniel Hartley. Daniel Hartley not fighting it at all. These two look like they might try and work together here. They've got to be very conscious that the likes of Coogan and Gassiet-Lee just behind them, so they've got a chasing back in chase in Coogan. Martin Wright is in there as well, who's been on fire all weekend. Then Gassiet-Lee, then Cuesto as well, who's been putting in great performances as well. Remember, this is their final chance to score points for their nations and the final chance to score points for their grid positions as well. So at the end of Group 2, we will know the top 8 positions on our timing screen as for the grid for the final. Onto the back straight is Daniel Hartley going to take the lead here. Martin Wright, we've seen him throughout the weekend not wanting to wait around. He likes to get to the front pretty quickly. Did not go for the move that time on Coogan though. Let's see if he changes his mind on the exit. Coogan, aware that there could be a threat incoming, looks to the inside to defend, and Martin Wright will now perhaps launch an attack coming through turn 3 or 4. We watch him up towards turn 3 now. Daniel Hartley staying in behind Sean Canivet. Here's turn 4. This has been a popular overtaking spot, but not on this occasion. They stay as they were. Canivet, Hartley, Coogan, Wright, Cuesto. That's your top 5, all in a line out of turn number 5 on lap 3.
And what a start it's been. It's emerging into a 5-kart battle for the lead now as we make our way down into sector number 3. A little bit of bumping go. Sean Canivet has gone deep, and that is going to leave him vulnerable. He's been taken by Daniel Hartley, and he's vulnerable to Aaron Coogan. Coogan's been pushed onto the grass. Sean Canivet has just about held onto the position. No, he's been taken by Martin Wright. Martin Wright up into 2nd position in front of Sean Canivet, and Sean Canivet is going to have serious momentum issues if he's not careful. He's got Eric Cuesto, the American, behind him, and he is going to be looking to get past. Aaron Coogan has been dumped right down to the back of this train into position number 7. That's a terrible turn of events for the Irishman, determined as ever, tucking down behind the wheel, trying to make up that lost time. But this has given real breathing room to Daniel Hartley. 7/10 of a second is the gap now, caused by that small little mistake from Shan Canivet, who is trying to defend desperately from Eric Cuesto. Taman Bitter has set the fastest lap. He's currently sitting in position number 8 and could easily come into the fray towards the end of this race, but it is still Daniel Hartley, Martin Wright, Shan Canivet defending desperately from Eric Cuesto, who's sitting just behind him there, and a warning flag for Daniel Hartley there. It remains to be seen what that is for, but we will bring you that information if we receive it. As we look, Shan Canivet still defending from Eric Cuesto, and it has all gone downhill since
Someone's
the days.
off at turn number 8 there. Not too sure who that was. Rejoins very slowly. We'll see the sector times and see who comes through the last sector slowly, but I'm not too sure. It might have been Nico Frank who went off there, has dropped down to 10th place, lost 5 places on that lap. So I fear Nico Frank is the driver that unfortunately found them off the circuit and dropped down. Yes, it is. Nico Frank is now down to 13th place. What a shame for the German. They've had a great morning so far in terms of the Nations Cup, but Nico Frank having a little bit of a disappointing first half of this race. Right, we're back with Daniel Hartley, the leader, as he now has company in his countryman Martin Wright. This is good for Team UK as they make their way on turn 6, but they've got the French driver of Canivet just in behind, and then the American of Cuesto as well. They hit the brakes in towards turn number 7. Martin Wright working with Daniel Hartley here. Canivet in behind him. Then it is Cuesto next along. The gap to Vitter, who joined us up in commentary earlier, is 1.3 seconds. That's how far away he is. He's got Coogan with him in P6. Then it is Martinez and Gassioli. Omar is P9 and Fleming is in 10th place. Out of the final corner, 5 laps in the books now. Are we going to see a move here from Martin Wright? No. Pushes Daniel Hartley along in towards turn 1. So that shows his intentions and his plans for this race. Get away, and it's working ever so slightly. They've got a gap of 4/10 now to the chasing pack, but these gaps can go up and down very quickly. The quickest driver on circuit, speaking of lap times, is Gassioli down in P8, and he is part of a 4-way battle for P4.
And this could turn into another very interesting battle. We've got the battle for the top 3 that we're looking at. 4 karts involved there with Hartley, Wright, Canivet and Cuesto all line astern currently. There could be another very interesting battle emerging for position number 5, as Chris says, as they all make their way onto the back straight. Still no drama from the leaders, all just sort of trying to stretch out a gap. Shan Canivet having fallen back by probably about 5 kart lengths there to Martin Wright in front. Still no heroics through the final chicane, and as they come on to lap number 6, the next lap will be the penultimate one, and so it will be all to play for between the leaders. So there's a move there for the lead. That's Martin Wright up the inside of Daniel Hartley into turn 1. Oh, and there's contact between Canivet and Hartley. Hartley getting all kinds of out of shape. He maintains the position though, just about. Shan Canivet down to 3rd, Hartley still in 2nd, and here comes Eric Cuesto up the inside of Shan Canivet through turn 4. Can he get the move done? Yes, he can. The American is through. Sorry, Chris, I bumped into him there while he's trying to fix the air conditioning, and Eric Cuesto says, come on, let's work together, Shan, and gestures to the Frenchman that we need to get moving after Martin Wright, who, thanks to this, is able to pull out a 6/10 gap as Hartley's gone deep. He's come back onto the track. He's just about maintaining his position, but there's Canivet mopping up the mess and retaking 2nd place. What a move by the young Frenchman. This is absolutely sensational racing from him, as we have Daniel Hartley now down to 3rd, Eric Cuesto down to 4th, and Taman Vitter is now involved in this, as well as a multitude of other drivers. That looks like Coogan. Gassioli is also getting involved in that, and William Omar could also come into this, but as they come down into turn 1, Daniel Hartley up the inside of Shan Canivet. Shan Canivet fighting back. Hartley's going to have the inside line into the chicane. Can he do anything? No. Shan Canivet just about holds on to the position, with Daniel Hartley falling back. Eric Cuesto behind him, and that looks to be Taman Vitter trying to make moves in the 246 machine. I think that is. I can't actually see because the bumping and barging has caused the numbers to be blacked out. There's Aaron Coogan, though, making opportunistic moves. They're 3 wide with Coogan. That looks like Martinez and perhaps Gassioli. Oh my goodness me. This is absolutely exceptional racing for position number 5.
Great stuff in the middle of the top 10. Meanwhile, out front, Martin Wright has escaped. Currently, he would be starting in P5 in the final. He's going along really well in this race. 1.1 ahead of Sean Caneve with 1 to go as they come over the line now. Main battle is for P3, and Cuesto knows that maybe Caneve is a little bit too far ahead, and he goes down the inside of Daniel Hartley. Good move from the American to get by, and Daniel Hartley there. Great driving from Cuesto, gets himself up into P3. Daniel Hartley will no doubt fight back. Trying to catch in on these guys is Vitter as well, and I tell you what, he will have an opportunity to be a part of this come the final chicane as well. He won't be alone either. We've got Coogan there, Gassioli as well, and also Martinez, Antonio Martinez, also in there in P8. William Omar is then in P9, having had a really good race so far, come up 10 places in this race. Out of turn 8 they come. There goes Vitter to the outside of Daniel Hartley. Cuesto defending furiously. Here they go. Daniel Hartley thinks he's found a gap on the inside at turn 9. It shuts immediately. Now they come into the final chicane for the final time. There's our leader, Martin Wright. He's going to take the win. Second will be Caneve. Who will be third? It will be Eric Cuesto in a drag race to the line. Daniel Hartley finishes in 4th, Taman Vitter in P5, Coogan in P6. So Martin Wright it is then, yet again on the move, 7 places gained. He's gained probably over 25 places coming through the order this weekend. 7 more places gained in that one, and he takes a very deserved race win. He's got to be one of the favourites going in to the final the way he's been driving. Sean Caneve continues his good performances. Currently, he's going to be the man to start on pole position in the final later on. The young driver in the yellow crash helmet there. And Eric Cuesto will start P5, but we still have another super heat still to go. So that is your lot from Group 1. Just a couple of shout outs. William Omar up 10 places tonight, and we spoke to Aston Sanchez on the grid, and he said he was going to gain 10 places, and that's exactly what he did. P11 for Aston Sanchez. So a well done to him. Plenty to recap from that one. Here's the order for you.
So it was the Briton Martin Wright who managed to take the flag in front of Sean Caneve, the Frenchman, and Eric Cuesto from the USA. Then came Daniel Hartley after that fantastic start, falling down the order slightly. Then came Taman Vitter and Aaron Coogan in position number 6. Then came Chase Gassioli and Antonio Martinez, the leading Spaniard, in front of William Omar, Mark Fleming, and the aforementioned Aston Sanchez. Then came Richard Saker in position number 12. Matteo Richter gained 2 positions to finish in 13th. Joey Carney finished in 14th. And then Nico Franca having that unfortunate off, losing 10 positions from where he started, finishing down in 15th place. Matthias Glover finished 16th in front of Lachlan Shearsmith, Jesus Asuncion, and Edward Clark. And then our non-finishers were Brooke Loretti and Patricia Alcaraz. Very unfortunate there to see both of them going out, but nevertheless they will have a chance to redeem themselves in the final, and we can only hope that the action in that final will be even better than the action we've witnessed so far, which has been absolutely top draw. This is why we love karting. There is no motorsport purer than go-karting, and there is no karting better, in my opinion, than the T4s. Between the atmosphere, the action, and everything else, it is an absolutely brilliant series, and I sincerely hope that you are getting the correct impression that we are trying to put across today of Formula One without the money, and also Formula One without the politics for this weekend, as everyone working together and having a good time. It is a party atmosphere, very much so, in the tents, and I learned that firsthand when the South Africans gave me some pizza for the 20-minute break that we had, which was very nice of them, and I'll be sure to join them later for a beer or a can of Coke or something, provided that I am allowed to. Next race is coming up in 5 minutes flat. It will be the T4 Junior. No, it won't be the T4 Junior final. I believe it will be the T4 Goodness me, I cannot remember. No, it will be the T4 Superheat 2 for the juniors. Goodness me, I thought that we just had the second one. No, thankfully, we do have another T4 Junior Superheat, and that will be absolutely sensational if anything that we've just seen is going to happen again, which it more than likely will, because T4s are just exceptionally close when it comes to pace. They are all exactly equal. Every single ounce of these karts is equal. Everything is made to be balanced in performance. And Chris, you are down in the pre-grid area. What can you tell us about this next T4 Junior Superheat?
Time to go racing in the T4 Juniors. Welcome down to the grid, everyone. T4 Juniors getting ready to go for their final Superheat. That was a good one to get us started, wasn't it? We are going to try and find some new faces that we haven't really spoke. I don't know if we really spoke to our pole sitter too much, so we'll come to yourself first. On pole for this one, last chance to get some good points in. Clearly, it's been going very well so far.
Yes, it's going well.
And tell us about how tough the racing's been out there, how hard it's been to get yourself in this position.
It's quite tough. We've got good drivers in this T4 Tillotson Cup, so you must work hard to be in front.
How's the atmosphere down in Team South Africa?
No, it's good. It's good.
Seem very good in Drivers' Parade, so it seems like we're having a good time.
Yes.
Good stuff. Best of luck. South Africa actually set up next to Team UK as well, was down in that awning earlier. I want to try and find some new faces that I haven't spoke to before yet. I don't know if I've spoke to this person here, so I'll wait to they get fired up. Yawn. Hello, and what's your name there?
Jorn Helder.
And you're having a good time so far?
Yeah, for sure. Nice weather. Hopefully with this one we're good.
Can't go wrong. And you're in a good grid position. You're in a good grid position as well, so it's going very well.
Yeah, for sure. We have the inside, so hopefully we can gain places.
Are we going to gain, well, what's that, 5 or 6 places here?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, good. Go get them. Go get them. Good luck. Good luck. Thank you. Okay, let's keep walking down. Let's keep walking down. I think we've spoken to these guys. Let's go over here. Let's go over here and speak to this driver here. Hello there. And what's your name?
My name is Elia.
And how are you going this weekend so far? It seems like you've been going very well.
Sorry, I don't know what you say.
You've had some good pace so far from what I've seen. Pace has been okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
P1 is okay.
That's good.
No.
How are we going to do today?
P1.
P1.
Yeah.
100%. Good luck. Good stuff. Good stuff. Sorry, it is very loud down here, so I don't always catch everything the guys are saying, but I'm doing my best. Let's go down here. I don't think I've spoken to this driver. Hello there, and what's your name?
Lucas Freddy.
And how's your weekend been so far? A bit tough.
No.
Are you having a good time?
Yes.
Enjoying it?
Yeah.
Enjoying the weather?
It's very good.
Very good. Karts are good to drive?
It's okay.
And good track? Good stuff. Best of luck for this one. We'll speak to a couple more. I don't know if we've spoken to this driver yet, so we'll squeeze in. Hello there. How are we doing so far? Are we enjoying the weekend, or it's been a bit tough?
Enjoying it, but it's been very tough making my way through the field.
Think we can make some places in?
Yeah.
Yeah, send it, nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Having good fun though, that's the main thing, right?
Yeah, it's very fun.
Yeah, good stuff. Best of luck for this one. And I think that will be our lot. Let's come and have a How are we doing?
What?
How are we doing? Are we looking forward to the race?
Yes.
Are we going to make some places?
Yes, I do.
10 places?
Yes. 15.
15. Let's go. I'm looking forward to that. 15 places. I like it. Well, best of luck to all the drivers. Thank you for speaking to us. I'm loving the enthusiasm. There goes the whistle. Here's Simon with the grid. Up to you.
Well, thank you very much for that, Chris. Great to see so many drivers taking part in interviews. As I say, thank you to all of them, and it's very nice to have the opportunity to speak to the drivers. You wouldn't really get this in many other karting series where the drivers are so open to having conversations right before race starts, so it is great to see such open drivers. Anyways, let's take you through the grid. It is going to be Ricardo Tabut from South Africa who starts on pole. Amelie Ackett will start alongside in second. Then comes Chase Pascalia and Brian Wilson in front of Truly Adams and Jakob Josef Havel. Then comes Jorn Helder from the Netherlands in front of Phil Becker and Josh Allen. Then comes Keith Burke, Elias Fornes, Pri Trevino and Tara Keneally. Then comes Daniel Brunetsky from the Czech Republic, Daniels Petris Bazins from Latvia. Then comes Anastasia Jurasis from South Africa, Mika Sprents, Victor Hampel, Kirill Dmitrievs, Warren Russell, and then rounding out the grid is Juan Diego Perez. So a fantastic grid here for this second T4 Junior Superheat, and it should be a fantastic occasion. And the marshals, it's a rare occasion when the marshals have to tell the drivers towards the rear that they need to speed up to catch up with the rest of the pack, but I do believe that we should be all in position in time for the race start, and that looks to be true as they round the final corner, as Juan Diego Perez forms up to the back of the queue. They get into the tram lines and we prepare to go racing. We're away now, and it looks to be a pretty good start by Amelie Ackett, but I don't think she'll be alongside enough to make any headway into turn number one. It is going to be Ricardo Tabut who leads into turn one. Amelie Ackett's been hung out to dry on the outside. Chase Pascalia up the inside. Has Chase Pascalia taken the lead? He has. Pascalia up into the lead in front of Ricardo Tabut. Then that is the 472. That looks to be Brian Wilson, perhaps, who has made his way up into third place as Ricardo Tabut is getting shuffled down constantly in the 244. That is, no, it's Truly Adams. Truly Adams from fifth on the grid all the way up to second. That is an exemplary start by the young Californian, and alongside his countrymen, currently occupying first place, but not for long. It is American Civil War round 2 going into turn 7, but alas, nothing comes of it for Truly Adams. Chase Pascalia still holding on to that position in front of Truly Adams, Ricardo Tabut, and then comes, I'm trying to see which number it is, I can't quite see it. It's the 267 machine. That is Jorn Helder with a fantastic start. Jorn Helder, the Dutch driver, getting up into position number 4 as they make their way down through the final chicane and onto the start-finish straight. Pascalia leads across the line in front of his American compatriot, Ricardo Tabut. Then comes Jorn Helder, Amelie Ackett, Brian Wilson, Jakob Josef Havel, Phil Becker, Keith Burke and Josh Allen as they flow their way through turn 1 and down towards the chicane.
Close start out front as ever in T4 Junior. We're seeing Chase Pascalia leading the pack now in towards turn 3, and we're seeing a move for third place as well. Side by side is Tabut and Helder there, so Ackett is going to make a place and get up to fourth place as the two leaders of Pascalia and Adams come down the start finish straight, and we see Ackett is now up a place in towards fourth. You can see that her in the blue race suit and black crash helmet ahead of 267, which is Jorn Helder, who we spoke to out there on the pre-grid. Here they come down the back straight. Truly Adams looking over his shoulder, and a big burst of encouragement there as he can see they've got a gap over the rest of the field. It's 0.6 of a second. There is a chance here possibly to break away. Very hard to do in this level of racing, but they're going to certainly give it a go. Chase Pascalia assessing the situation. Amelie Ackett getting third place down the inside in towards turn number 1 goes by Ricardo Tabut. She's been driving very well all weekend is Amelie Ackett, and so far she would be starting on the outside of the second row. That might move her up onto the inside of row 2, the move she's just made there. So we'll review that at the end of this lap. She is in a battle for a possible front row start with Ricardo Tabut and Chase Pascalia as well. So plenty at stake here. Shan Caneve he's gonna be the driver to start on pole. There's no two ways about that. It's who's gonna join him on the front row. and who will be directly behind him on the inside of row 2, which is a very valuable spot at this level of racing and at this circuit. Here they come. Let's see how the points change when they come in towards the final chicane. Biscaglia and Adams trying to help USA win the Nations Cup. They come across the line now, and Chase Biscaglia moves onto the front row of the grid provisionally, and Ameliakis onto the inside of row 2.
And the inside of row 2 arguably better than starting in second, as we saw. Ameliakis has a lot of experience with starting in that second place slot around the outside at turn 1. Very, very difficult being on the disadvantageous line. Very easy to get shuffled out and lose 2, 3, 4, even 5 positions at times. As we see a move there, that looks to be Elias Fornes getting past Keith Burke for position number 9. As we watch the leaders coming down into turn number 7, still Truly Adams and Chase Biscaglia working with each other. No battling happening just yet, but we can be sure that that rule will go out the window in but a few laps' time when it comes down to the thick of it. Truly Adams desperately wanting to take a victory in the super heat, having had a 5th place in yesterday's heat number 4 and a 4th place in his first heat yesterday, and having pretty much dominated this class last year, winning 2 out of the 3 heats. He's looking to regain that form ahead of the final and try to defend his title, which he looks to be doing reasonably effectively if you look at his pace. He's only got less than a 1/10 of a second between himself and Chase Biscaglia, but Ricardo Tabut in 4th place is one to watch. He's coming through the field quickly, 105.4, very fast lap. Ameliakis is going to be coming under pressure from him if she's not careful, and I don't have a feeling that he is going to want to wait up for her, and I'm not entirely sure that there will be too much team orders involved there, given that they are from 2 completely separate nations. Obviously Ameliakis, the Briton, and then Ricardo Tabut, the quickest South African here this weekend, one could argue. Certainly in the T4 junior category, he is right up there constantly. Whenever he gets in the kart, he is very, very quick indeed, and potentially a contender for a podium when the final comes along. As they make their way out of the chicane onto the start-finish straight, it is still the 2 Americans bump drafting each other down into turn 1, trying to break away, not having too much success though. Still 2 tenths to Akits in 3rd place, with Akits setting the fastest lap now, a 105.3. This is going to really put them under pressure, and look how close Akits is now. Less than probably a foot separating them. There is confirmation of Ameliakis' fastest lap, and Chase Biscaglia is going to really start feeling the pressure from behind, as will Truly Adams, who is going to be thinking, right, we really need to get a move on here.
Yeah, Ameliakis, as we mentioned, inside row 2 start currently, so might be tempted to stay there, but she, of course, has Ricardo Tabut right behind, who has also places to be made when it comes to that grid as well. He can also get himself onto the front row. If he's to get back past Ameliakis, then he goes back onto the inside of row 2. Down the back straight, we see a change there. Helder just got a better run out the corner than Tabut, and they both sort of looked at each other for a second. They both want to get moving here, so in the end Tabut allowed Helder to just take that place and go through, and now they're going to try and work together and get after these top 3 once more, which should happen very quickly given the power of the toe around this circuit. Round turn number 2 now, in towards turn 3 we go, and there we see them coming up towards turn number 4. This into the opening section of corners. Now round 5 and into 6, we can see the top 5 all together here. It's a fantastic battle we've seen so far, and it's going to get even more so because Truly Adams is now gone for the first attack on his countryman. He's gone past Chase Biscaglia. He's currently 7th on the grid for the final, wants to try and get himself further up the order, and Truly Adams gets himself into the lead of this race. That's the best he can do so far. Head down for Truly Adams as we now come in towards the final chicane. We've got Chase Biscaglia just behind, then it's Ameliakis in P3. Round the final chicane they go. Helder is there in 4th place, having probably the best race he's had all weekend. As we now head down to the first 2 corners, we can see them in towards the first couple of corners now, and Ameliakis getting down the inside there to go through into P2, getting by Chase Biscaglia. Great driving from Amelie Ackitts, and that should put her onto the front row of the grid, and does so. So Amelie Ackitts is now onto the front row, but Chase Pascalia fights back in towards turn number 4. Great racing from our juniors, and this just the first of 2 races we've got coming up from these guys. Helder drops back behind Ricardo Tabut as they now come down towards turn number 7. It's Trilly Adams leading from Chase Pascalia. The 2 Americans have done very well to get a gap over the remaining pack. They may push each other to the line here now, but Chase Pascalia, let's see what he does. He's might work with his countryman here, might open up a battle for the lead. All still to be decided. One more lap to decide who's going to win this superheat in the juniors. 5 of them could possibly win it. Here they come up to the start-finish line now.
And Truly Adams tapping the back of his helmet saying, let's work together. And look at Amelie Ackitts, how defensive she is driving into turn 1. Not ceding any positions to anyone though. Ricardo Tabut and also Jorn Helder behind her, who are eager to get onto that top 3. But alas, nothing can be done for now. Look at Truly Adams up the inside of Chase Pascalia through turn 4. That is a fantastic move. American on American. And Truly Adams takes the lead in the last lap, the second sector of the last lap. How many times are we going to see this where the final finishing order is decided in the last 2 sectors of the last lap? Chase Pascalia has no defence as they come into turn number 7 and out through 8. There's nothing that he can do really. The gap is large enough that Truly Adams has a little bit of breathing room. Look at him, how defensive he's driving. Not quite all the way to the inside, but it wouldn't be far if he needed to. He moves all the way to the inside though for the final chicane. Defends hard. Chase Pascalia tries his best, but there's nothing he can do. Truly Adams all the way to the line. Adams takes it in front of Pascalia and Ricardo Tabut. Amelie Ackitts just missing out on a podium by the skin of her teeth, but does walk away with the fastest lap. And then came Jorn Helder and Phil Becker in 6th position.
Yeah, well done to Truly Adams. Lost the lead on that last lap going into turn 1, but regained it back straight away just 3 corners later. And Truly Adams taking a very deserved win there. That puts Truly Adams on row number 3 for the final. We know the top 4 rows. Shan Caneve, who's been exceptional all weekend, will very deservedly start on pole position. He's had such a consistent weekend. Ricardo Tabut, who finished 3rd in that race in the 282, will join the Frenchman on the front row of the grid. Amelie Ackitts, she will start on the inside of row 2, arguably the best place to start in a final like this. Chase Pascalia will be alongside her on row 2. Row 3 will be Chase Gassioli and Truly Adams, the winner of that race. And then Coogan and Cuesto will be row 4. But here is the finishing order of Superheat 2.
So it was Truly Adams who saw the flag first in front of Chase Pascalia and Ricardo Tabut, who finished in 3rd. Then came Amelie Ackitts in 4th position in front of Jorn Helder in 5th, and Phil Becker in 6th position in front of Brian Wilson and Keith Burke. Josh Allen then lined up in, well, didn't line up, he finished in 9th, I should say, in front of Elias Fornes in 10th. Daniels Petros Bazins finished in 11th, having gained 4 positions, and Jakob Josef Havel fell from 6th to 12th. In his final finishing order, Tara Keneally and Daniel Brunetsky both finished where they started in 13th and 14th respectively, with Juan Diego Perez gaining 6 positions to finish in 15th. Then came Preet Trevino in 16th, Warren Russell, Anastasia Jurasis and Kirill Mitrievs in front of Mika Spence and Victor Hampel. As anything else, when there is a red flag incident, it is mandatory for drivers to attend to the ambulance, and in this case the marshals deciding that it is best for the ambulance to meet the driver at the scene. As we see all of the carts being brought back. Now, obviously we won't be getting underway and we won't be showing anything on the live stream of the incident in question, but as we say, the ambulance crew in attendance. We are very, very lucky here at the Cartodromo Internacional Lucas Guerrero to have such skilled medical personnel and marshals who are on the scene so promptly. We really could not do it without them, and so full credit goes to the marshals, the ambulance crews, and all involved in ensuring the safety of our drivers here this weekend. Safety is of course the number 1 priority. While we are all here to have a good time, it is important that that is done safely. And unfortunately, the end of the T4 mini-final coming prematurely, but the most important thing is that all drivers are safe and well, and we can still take solace in the fact that we received 99% of the race that we were guaranteed to. We didn't get to see the checkered flag, but the price for that is rather small in comparison to what could have been. We do, however, look forward to the T4 Junior Final, which will be coming up in a few moments' time when everything has been cleared up. And as we say, Chris will be down on the grid. He'll be meeting the drivers for one last time before they set off on their 12-lap race around this 1.495 kilometre circuit here in the heart of the Spanish countryside, just outside of Valencia, just outside of the Autodromo Ricardo Tormo. And I can tell you that the ambulance has now left the track and is going away to treat the drivers in question. So we can expect to see the T4 Juniors being brought out onto the grid in a few moments' time. Obviously the atmosphere around the track in recent moments has dulled down significantly and has depleted as a mood of concern comes over the track, but we do have the best medical crews in the business and the best marshals in the business as well on the scene so promptly, and I'm sure that all will be well since such a prompt response was initiated by all of the medical and marshal teams. So let's look ahead to the T4 Junior Final, and we can take solace in the fact that we will get to see another 12-lap sprint around this fantastic facility here just outside of Chiva in Valencia. The T4 Juniors, catering for ages 12 to 16 years, will be taking part in a few moments' time. Now obviously we do need to clear everything up, and there are still a number of... oh no, never mind, the carts have all been cleared from the circuit, and so I believe that we can expect to see the T4 Juniors out on the track in a few moments' time. We wait for the RGMMC crews, the fantastic event organisers that we have here today. We wait for the instruction to bring all of the T4 Junior carts out onto the track, where Chris will greet them, wish them good luck, and ask them how they're feeling. And it's times like this, the height of the day here in Spain, with an air temperature of 28 degrees and very little wind compared to yesterday. So those drivers who you can see there on the live stream standing in the pre-grid area, many umbrellas to be seen. That's purely in an effort to keep cool. Hydration and shade is the name of the game at the moment for these T4 Junior drivers as they prepare to embark on their final 12-lap quest around this Cartodromo Valencia. We are still waiting, as I say, for the juniors to be brought out onto the track as the recovery van returns through the pit lane. I believe we can expect, and here is the signal being made to bring out the T4s onto the starting grid, and we will finally get an opportunity to speak to our leading drivers and understand their psyche going into this 12-lap sprint as we see a light aircraft flying over the track. That's very interesting. I've never seen that before. As all the drivers make their way out, we will be going down to Chris in but a few moments' time to gain his insight for this T4 Junior Final.
Yeah, welcome down to the grid. Stu and Josh have just brought out, just for me in particular, right guys? Right. The Nations Cup trophy. As you can see, it is a beautiful piece of kit. This is part of what the guys are fighting for, the Nations Cup. And speaking to the guys upstairs, it is very, very close for the Nations Cup. So we'll keep you posted for that. But in the background, here come our T4 Junior drivers. Guys, up on the roof. Let's give some support for our T4 Junior finalists as they make their way onto the circuit. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Starting on pole position is going to be Shankanave. Alongside will be Ricardo Tabut from South Africa. On row 2 from the United Kingdom will be Amelie Ackitts, and from the United States will be Chase Biscaglia. We are going to speak to the guys as they get down towards us. I think we have about 5 minutes before we go live, so we'll let them get the cars down. In fact, I'm going to just go straight over to Shankanave. So, a few words in French for us?
Ouais, yes. Bah, je suis très heureux de participer à cette finale en tant que premier, en tant que leader. J'espère que ça va bien se passer, finir sur le podium, et je tenais à remercier mon sponsor Wetio Project, sans qui cela serait pas possible, quoi. Merci.
Merci. There we go. Thank you very much, Ricardo Tabut. We'll come to you next. This is very good position to be in, front row, outside of the front row, but nevertheless, we're up here. Plans for the start, you gone through it in your head?
I'm just gonna try and push my hardest and the best that I can.
It's been a hard weekend overall, I imagine, but how have you enjoyed it?
Yes, I've enjoyed it so much.
The racing seemed very tough all the way throughout. It seemed pretty relentless out there.
Yes, it's good racing.
And now it all comes down to this. It's going to be a long race, but I imagine good fun.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Good stuff. We'll leave you to get ready. Follow me. Let's go to third place, Amelie Ackitts over here, who we spoke to on a couple of occasions. Hello again. We meet again. How are we doing? Inside row 2. Yeah! We're in a close battle for the lead or for second in the last race, and I think a couple of moves you did on the last lap meant you got this inside row 2 start. So
yeah, it was good. I think that we had a really good superheat, and it went really well. But yeah, we finished 4th, I think, in the end, but it was so close over the line. But finally got the inside, so hopefully we'll actually have a good run to the corner this next time, because we've been on the outside, pushed wide every time. You can't really do much in second. So
it's been making a bit of a difference then.
Yeah, hopefully.
Your competitors can hear that, so you can say that as loud as you want. Best of luck for the final. So sorry. Okay, let's go to Chase Biscaglia next, who is on the outside. Row 2, though. I'm going to spin you around so the guys can see you from this way. We've spoken to you a couple of times now. It's going really well this weekend, isn't it? And for Team USA, well, you don't want to. You can hold that if you want, but it's going very well.
Yeah, it's been going well. We got a penalty that we're not sure. It made us fall back a lot, but we're back up here and we're going to go for the win.
How are you feeling ahead of this one now? Nerves building up? How does it feel at this point? Talk us through it for those guys who haven't raced a Nations Cup race before.
I'm feeling really good. All I got to do is just get to the inside as quick as possible and then just go with my teammates, trying to get a USA 1, 2, 3, 4 and come out on top.
I imagine after your superheat you just want to get out there and get going now.
Oh yeah, I definitely screwed up a blocking over there and I want to get it back so bad.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Best of luck. We're going to try and get through the front 3 rows. I think we've got enough time. Oh, I don't want to photobomb anyone. Adams. Right inside row 3. That's pretty solid. You got a really good chance from that.
Yeah. This is where we started last year, so hopefully we can do the same thing we did.
Maybe it's almost meant to be then, that you start fifth. Maybe 5th is the place to be.
Who knows? It's just up to the drivers around me and me, and just see how many of the drivers can just help around, and so we can just push away from the pack and get this.
It seems your weekend's had a little bit of everything so far. Do you think you've learned from all of that and can go full out attack now?
Yeah, I think I've learned a lot just from my competitors from last year, and this year is just a lot different, and hopefully this year we do better.
I'm going to let you jump in. Good luck. I think we are being told to clear, so I'm going to start walking away. We're being told to... One minute. We're being told to clear, so we're going to go. Simon, I'm going to hand back up to you. Nations Cup trophy. That's what they're fighting for at the front. Those are the drivers who are racing in this. T4 Junior coming your way.
here's the grid. Enjoy it up there.
Well, here we go then for the T4 Junior Final. It all comes down to this for the top 36 ranked junior drivers, aged 12 to 16, are about to get underway, and it will be Sean Canivet, the Frenchman, leading us down into turn 1 on this formation lap. Alongside him, Ricardo Tabut, and in third place, Amelie Ackett alongside Chase Buscalia. Then we have row 3, an All-American third row consisting of Truly Adams, last year's champion of the T4 junior category, and Chase Gassiet-Lee in 6th position. Row 4 is Aaron Coogan alongside Eric Cuesto, another American. And then we have row 5, Martin Wright and Brian Wilson. Antonio Martinez and Daniel Hartley line up alongside each other on the 6th row of the grid, in front of Jorn Helder and Phil Becker, excuse me. And then we have Taman Witte in front of Nico Franke, and we have Jakob Josef Havel in front of Josh Allen, Keith Burke, Elias Fornes, Lachlan Shearsmith, Mark Fleming, Joey Carney, Richard Saker, Matthias Glover, Matteo Richter, Tara Keneally, Daniel Brunetsky, Daniels Petrus Bazins, Pri Trevino, William Omar, and then we have Anastasia Gerasis, Brooke Loretti, Edward Clark, Mika Spence, and the final driver is Jesus Asuncion, the Spaniard, rounding out the grid for this T4 Junior Final. This 12-lap sprint around the Cartodromo Valencia. It really is set to be something special. Led by the Frenchman Sean Canivet, one of 2 Frenchmen taking part in this year's Nations Cup, and it is set to be an absolute corker.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really good one. Speaking to the guys out there, atmosphere, they all seem really up for it, don't they? Amelie Ackett's really excited to be on that inside row, and I do like that she didn't hold back on saying how important the inside row is. But I'd say Ricardo Tabut, Chase Buscalia are going to try and put that right and get a good start from the outside. But look, this is not a full-on sprint. They've got a few more laps than they did in their heats, and I think that could come into effect. So USA pushing for a 1, 2, 3, 4. It is close in the Nations Cup as well, hearing just a matter of 12 points between the top 3 nations. So plenty at stake here. Sean Canivet is going to be the one who leads us as we get ready to go for the T4 Junior Final, Simon.
And here we go, everybody getting into their tram lines. We look to the lights and we wait to go racing, and we go racing now, and it's a good start from the front row. Sean Canivet gets away well. Ricardo Tabut is also there alongside Amelie Ackett, however, gets up into 2nd place. Ricardo Tabut falling down the order. Chase Buscalia inherits 3rd position, with Ricardo Tabut being shuffled out down into, I believe that's position number 4, and it is. And then we have Eric Cuesto there in position number 5, immediately saying, come on, let's work together and chase those in front.
Yeah, we had a spinner, unfortunately, through the first sector. It looked, I think, that Matthias Glover had a problem, but someone spinning as well. Simon.
Yes, and there's action there at turn number 4 on the outside. That is the 221 machine. Let's take a look at who that is.
Fornes, yeah.
Elias Fornes, and the 258 also of Lachlan Shearsmith, the Australian, making his first T4 Nations Cup appearance. Now, Lachlan Shearsmith has been able to get going, but Elias Fornes, unfortunately, not able to take part any further, and Fornes' Nations Cup final is over at only turn 4. What a terrible shame for the Spaniard as we see the leaders coming across the line. It is still Sean Canivet from Chase Buscalia, and then Amelie Ackett's in 3rd position, and I say that it immediately changes with Chase Buscalia there taking the lead. Amelie Ackett's taking 2nd, but with serious fighting going on down behind.
Yeah, very, very close there. Amelie Ackett has got through into 2nd place. Chase Buscalia, though, has got away out front. They've got to be very careful here because Chase Buscalia is away and clear. He looks over his shoulder. He has got a hell of a gap now to all of these 3 drivers and the remaining pack back behind them. They have to work together now and decide who's going to do the leading, who's going to do the pushing. It looks like Amelie Ackitts will take the role in the lead of this train and drive it forward as they come onto the back straight. Now we go 6.5 tenths is the gap. Time for Amelie Ackitts to try and chase it down with the help of Eric Cuesto as they come through turn 9 down to the chicane at turn 10. Look how quickly that gap just came down. 6.5 tenths disappears. Chase Pascalia will look over his shoulder and say, where on earth has that gone? I think we're going to have a new leader possibly down at turn 1 if Amelie Ackitts wants to be there. She decides to push Chase Pascalia along, and all of a sudden we are back for 5 for the lead in this T4 junior final. Chase Pascalia leading from Ackitts, Cuesto, Caneve our pole sitter, and a change for second. There goes Cuesto down the inside of Amelie Ackitts. She holds on to third place. P4 now goes the way of Ricardo Tabut. He gets down the inside of Caneve. Caneve having a really poor start to this race. He's dropped down to P5. Gassio Lee is 6th, and it's Martin Wright. Vitter is 6th, and Truly Adams has dropped down to P9. Helder is P10.
And then Aaron Coogan, who we saw fighting for potentially a podium there in the superheat. He's all the way down in position number 11, so he's going to be, never mind, he's up to P10 now. He's overtaken Taman Vitter, the Flying Dutchman who we saw in the heats. Struggling for pace, it seems, in this final, but that could all change. Plenty of laps left remaining, so plenty of time to recover a good result. And as we see the lead 4 going down Linus turn, look at Ackitts going up the inside of Eric Cuesto, seizing the position, but Ricardo Tabut says, thank you very much, that second place is mine.
Great driving from Ricardo Tabut to get through and ahead. Amelie Ackitts, it was a good ambitious pass for her, but just a little bit too wide in the process, and she's going to remain in third place. Nevertheless, she's got Eric Cuesto out the way. She now just has to deal with Ricardo Tabut, who started on the outside of the front row. Here we go down towards turn number 7. Is Amelie Ackitts going to make a move? No, she is going to push Ricardo Tabut along into that corner. I'll tell you what, the top 12, top 15 all together in one single line. You can see the gap to the leaders on the left-hand side of screen. There is 4 seconds only between the top 15 drivers in this T4 junior final. It is very, very close out there. Chase Pascalia leads us into the chicane for the 4th time. He takes us onto the start-finish straight. Across the line we go. Are we going to see any changes in behind? Not quite. Shan Canive's got to be careful. He's got Gassio Lee now tucked right in behind him. Then it's Martin Wright. He could be one to watch. He was always moving forward in the heats, and he's getting after Gassio Lee. So keep your eyes on Martin Wright and keep an eye on Truly Adams as well. He is the quickest driver on the circuit down in P8.
And Truly Adams, a disappointing start to the race, having fell down 3 positions. He fell down to P9 initially, now rescued up to P10, setting the fastest lap. He could be one to watch, as I'm seeing, I believe that's Tara Keneally making up a position there on Antonio Martinez, as we see the leaders coming through turn number 8 and onto the back straight. This is where we see the most significant headwind. We can look at the flags on the opposite side of the track. This is why bump drafting is so efficient along that last back section of the track. Still no action though into the final chicane. And as we come across the line, it is still Chase Pascalia who leads. And then comes Ricardo Tabut, Amelie Ackitts and Eric Cuesto. And no action into turn 1, which you have to say, Chris, makes a change in the T4 junior final. But it is still Chase Pascalia who leads.
Yeah, it's certainly a little bit calmer through there than it has been on other laps, but not into turn 4. There comes a move from Cuesto down the inside of Ackitts, who's getting barged wide, and that's going to see Shan Caneve going through as well into P4. This now a jump in the seat of encouragement from Shan Caneve as he feels maybe this is his time to get back through into the lead, and going into the lead is Ricardo Tabut, goes down the inside of Chase Pascalia. With that, trying to go into his second place was Eric Cuesto. also there. So out now of turn 8, it is going to be Tabut leading us down the back straight as we head down towards turn number 9. We've got a spinner further back, unfortunately. I think that might be Antonio Martinez, the local driver, who has spun, in contact there, the 282 running wide of Ricardo Tabut. Chase Pascalia emerges in the lead, and a spin. Unfortunately, Shan Canave, the pole sitter, has spun. Amelie Ackett's going slow. Martin Wright also going slow as well. We have a Brent Axel, there for 242, which is Brian Wilson. He is out of the race. He will go no further. What a shame. 4 drivers all caught out in that incident, and the final chicane strikes once again at this circuit.
And that is so unfortunate. Seeing our pole man, Shan Canive, getting involved in that collision, completely destroying the front of his kart. He is still going, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if we see a technical flag as Brian Wilson, with his head in his hands, driving to the pit exit and absolutely distraught at the fact that he's missed out on a strong result in this T4 Junior final. As we look down the order, it is Chase Pascalia who, among all of the carnage, has pulled out an almost 1 second gap, and then Truly Adams, as we see Brian Wilson there, almost inconsolable, having sustained so much damage. A bent axle there in that collision. As we see, Truly Adams has now inherited second position, and this could be great news for the young American, with an American 1-2, and Ricardo Tabut getting involved with Daniel Hartley through turn 1 and through turn 2. Down into the chicane of 3, it is still Ricardo Tabut who leads Daniel Hartley. Aaron Coogan as well, making his way up to P5, and look at that, fantastic move there by Daniel Hartley, taking third position, and now the hunt begins to go after the 2 Americans in front, and suddenly Truly Adams is seeing the dollar signs in front of him as he sees the opportunity, only 0.6 of a second up the road, to defend his T4 Nations Cup title.
Yeah, Daniel Hartley there taking advantage of a slight mistake from Ricardo Tabut, who ran wide out of turn 3 there, delayed in his exit. Daniel Hartley helped himself to a third place. He is now leading this train. We haven't seen much of him. That's because he started down in P12. He's now up to P3, so 9 places gained for him in this race. Nico Frank has come up 10 places in this race to P6. We're also seeing big charges through from Tara Connolly, who's come up 14 places to 13th. Likewise from Daniels Berzins, who's come up 14 places as well to 15th. So great drives throughout the field there. Some drivers really charging through the order, and charging up to the lead is Truly Adams. He did sit about 1 second back from Chase Pascalia, but he's chased that gap down now to less than 0.4 of a second. And if Daniel Hartley and Ricardo Tabut can work together, they could make this one epic battle for the lead once again, and I think that's what they will be getting instructions to do from the sidelines. Here they come onto the back straight. Truly Adams now with his countryman Chase Pascalia, looks over his shoulder, points forward to Truly Adams as they come in towards turn number 9, and down into the chicane we go. We are going to be going on to lap number 10, so 3 to go now as they come up to the line.
And it is an American 1-2, but Daniel Hartley is pulling in that gap slightly. It is down to half a second now as we see moves happening into turn 1. That looks to be Aaron Coogan battling away with Eric Cuesto, perhaps Jorn Helder in there. Nico Franke seems to be involved, and it is Aaron Coogan who has come out on top in that battle. No change of the lead so far. It is still Chase Pascalia, then Truly Adams, then Daniel Hartley, then Ricardo Tabut. Hartley getting a little bit out of shape there on the exit of turn number 4. And that shouldn't cost him too much time as they head down, still going 2 by 2, 2 by 2, 2 by 2. It's like Noah's Ark, but in T4 Juniors, so probably a lot more exciting, dare I say it. And on lap 9 of 12, we look to the leaders. The wind arguably stronger than it has ever been at all today, and so this is the moment where slipstream becomes so important along that back straight. That is why everyone is sorting themselves out into groups of 2. It is just so much more beneficial to have that bump draft, to have that push, and that gap that I was saying Daniel Hartley was closing has now opened back up to 0.8 of a second as we see a battle there. That looks to be Jon Helder getting past. I'm not entirely sure who that is. It's Aaron Coogan who's leading the battle. I believe it's Nico Franke and Jon Helder battling, and it is Jon Helder who has taken 7th place away from the German racer, who is here at his 2nd ever Nations Cup and doing mightily well for himself, holding his own in the top 10. And you have to say Germany with a strong contingent this year, as up the inside looks Truly Adams, and he takes Chase Buscaglia at turn 7 on lap number 10. But Buscaglia isn't done yet. He retakes the position. He says, oh, sorry about the contact, mate. Truly Adams says, what are you doing, man? Come on, let's work together. And suddenly, here comes Hartley up the inside into turn number 9. Is he going to be able to take the lead? No, but he does snatch 2nd position away from Chase Buscaglia, and Ricardo Tabut may get involved as well. Chase Buscaglia retakes 2nd place. Daniel Hartley cuts the chicane. This is absolutely incredible racing, Chris.
On the last lap now we go. Who's it going to be? Truly Adams leaves a space on the inside, but just closes the door in time before Chase Buscaglia can get down the inside. Ricardo Tabut is sat there in 3rd place. Daniel Hartley, having skipped over the chicane, is now down to P4. Here we go in towards turn number 4 for the final time in this T4 Nations Cup final. There goes Daniel Hartley down into 3rd place. Fantastic overtake from the British driver to get into P3. Now he is staring at a possible win. He's onto the podium. Who's going to be on the top step of it though? Truly Adams versus Chase Buscaglia. Is it going to be back-to-back victories for Truly Adams? He started 5th last year and won. He started 5th this year. Is he going to win? We're side by side for 3rd. Meanwhile, Ricardo Tabut gets by Daniel Hartley. Drag race down towards turn number 9 for the final time. It's Truly Adams leading on the brakes for the final time this weekend. Can he hang on? Truly Adams out the final corner. He has done it again. Truly Adams is the winner of the Tillotson T4 Junior Nations Cup final. Back-to-back wins, 5th to 1st in 2022. He repeats that process again in 2023. Truly Adams retains the title once again. What a fantastic performance. Just holds off Chase Buscaglia, and Ricardo Tabut takes the last step on the podium. Coogan takes 4th place ahead of Cuesto in 5th, and Hartley finishes in P6. What a race that was. Some hard charges in the likes of Hartley, Frank as well, along with Berzins, Keneally likewise, and also Daniel Brunecki as well. William Omar was another. But a fantastic race out front. Another good, respectable race between all of our leaders. But the winner is that man you see there, Truly Adams.
And Truly Adams becomes the first man in Nations Cup history to defend his title successfully. It is a 1-2 for the USA, and that is going to be fantastic for their Nations Cup points. Truly Adams takes the spoils in the T4 Junior final in front of Chase Buscaglia and Ricardo Tabut in P3. Aaron Coogan only just missed out on a podium, but a fantastic recovery drive by the Irishman to finish in 4th in front of Eric Cuesto and Daniel Hartley in 5th and 6th. Then came Nico Franke, Jon Helder, Chase Gasly, Keith Burke rounds out the top 10, with Martin Wright falling down the order in the latter stages of the race to finish in P11. Taman Vitter with a disappointing result down in 12th, having shown strong pace all weekend. Then came Josh Allen and Daniels Petris Berzins, and came Tara Keneally up 12 positions and only bested by Berzins, who gained 15 to finish in 14th place. 16th place was occupied by Phil Becker and 17th by Daniel Brunetsky. Mark Fleming finished in 18th in front of Matteo Richter and Jakob Josef Havel. William Omar finished in 21st position in front of Richard Saker and Matthias Glover in 23rd. Joey Carney finished in 24th position in front of Pri Trevino and Edward Clark. Brooke Loretti finished in 27th in front of Jesus Asuncion and Anastasia Jurasis, who we got the opportunity to talk with earlier, finished in 29th place. Lachlan Shearsmith, after being involved in an incident, finished in 30th.